So the lot of you are currently relaxing on your ship, the Velvet Goldmine. You are enjoying a little bit of quote-unquote shore leave. You've been docked at the Koblenz 9 Deep Space Station for quite some time. And you are essentially dry docking for a little while some minor repairs are being done to the ship. But you realize that the longer that you spend in dry dock, the less opportunity, the more money is rapidly fleeing away from you. And that's particularly important because the Velvet Gold Mine cost 1,020 million credits to build an outfit. And you owe the company that manufactured it 612 million credits.
We've done a fairly good job.
No, we got the thing pretty good paid off, yeah.
Now, to give you an idea of like in terms of the economy, what that means is like, let's say you wanted to buy a combat shotgun. Mm-hmm. That's 1,400 credits.
Okay.
A crowbar would be 50 credits. If you wanted to put an upgrade on your ship, that would be, let's see here. Here we are. It'll be 10 million credits per whole piece that you're adding onto the ship. Repairs cost 100,000 credits per whole point that you're repairing. The ship is not going to be terribly important in this mission right now, but of course I've got the sheet out here if you want to take a look. If you need to like do something with the computers, or if you take a hit, or what have you.
Man, I hope not. That's a ton of money.
Yes, yes it is.
Combat's expensive.
Just kill me.
So you know that you need to take high value and often accordingly high risk jobs in order to get this thing paid off. And to then start becoming profitable as an enterprise. Right. So first what I need to know is what does the Velvet Gold Mine do? Right now, you three are the only permanent crew.
Well,
some sort of like deep space freight of probably like basic resources of some sort, I imagine.
OP smuggling rig.
I was supposed to be like, yeah, could you
Always on the side, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say like, yeah, that's our side. Well,
that's good because the Velvet Gold Mine is a blockade runner, which is sort of it's a smuggler ship designed to look like just a basic freighter or something like that.
Fantastic.
You have like a space for 100 units of cargo, and every unit of cargo is the size of a large pallet. Okay. So you could carry quite a lot of stuff.
So do we just want to double down on being just?
Are we going to do like the Serenity route and like have cows on board? You know, like
that's what I was thinking.
Cows have been
literal
extinct
cows,
for several hundred years.
sorry.
Like
yeah,
moving
from Serenity to Millennium Falcon,
stuff like that.
Like
yeah,
on that spectrum, where
yeah, where are we?
Okay, so that works out very well. That you're already sort of
Let's see what we do.
intentionally doing, smuggling to gain. Well, I mean, because there's no way to make money fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the
we would
few
like
ways.
this paid off before we die.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also have all of our kneecaps and.
Because if you die, your debt is transferred to all living relatives. That was in the contract.
Yeah.
I'm an android.
Well, they're going to transfer it to your creator.
Shit.
That's harsh.
And when we're dead, we're dead. They can come
Exactly.
back for you.
That's true. They can just like.
They just
You're not dead. Sorry.
Play from the cloud.
Download you.
Yeah, that's kind of horrifying when you think about it. You will never be rid of this debt unless you pay it off.
You could say I'm
Never.
highly incentivized.
Or until the entity that has given you the debt is evaporated by the winds of
Eventual
time.
heat death.
I guess, yes.
Yeah. Because that's just going to get passed on to somebody else, right?
Exactly.
Another corporation will just buy them out and buy all those contracts.
We're gonna slowly slip into like space Fight Club if we don't stop.
And in order to cope, we have to do
Thanks.
space drugs. And then, like, this is really
There
just
are
a
space drugs.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be.
I feel like with a crew this small, you have to be clean. Because
Yes.
otherwise we won't put up with that shit.
Yeah. We got too much shit to do for someone to be like drunk or high all the time.
So right now, again, you're at the Koblenz 9 Deep Space Station in the Idare system. Tell me where you are on the ship.
The space equivalent of like a basketball court? Some sort of like 0G ball of some sort?
Okay. There is one of the cargo holds has been sort of the gravity has been adjusted in that specific hold, and a crude net and hoop have been set up to accommodate people on the ship who want to do some kind of like athletic exercise.
Mm-hmm.
How long has our ship been under repair?
How long has it been?
Yeah.
Oh, about a week.
Okay, so at this point I'm probably impatient and I will be sitting in the general area of wherever people are working on the ship, and I will just be sitting there completely still, staring straight at them in all my android glory.
Sure, just in standby. Yeah.
Just the light shining off you.
Now, right now, because you've mostly been doing
Try to speak up.
smuggling jobs and sort of private affairs, right? There's nobody else on the ship but the three of you.
Oh, okay.
It's a sizable ship, but because this is the far future, you would only need essentially a computer and maybe a pilot,
Okay.
to punch in the information, and then that's all you need to really run a ship, because the computer does most of the other things about temperature control and life
Sure,
support.
yeah.
And
All
that
the life
stuff.
support stuff.
Yeah.
So that makes you wash.
So, where are you?
Space babes. I want space babes.
Okay. But on the ship, where are you?
Oh, on the ship? Oh. That's a shame. I thought we were on the station.
So you're daydreaming about space babes in what portion of the
Yeah,
ship?
right in the yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Right where I would be piloting.
Right, so you're
It's
in
like,
the cockpit.
yeah,
yeah.
just do one of these
Feet up.
numbers. Yeah, feet up. It's like
What kind of space babe are you imagining?
probably something close to a Twi'lek.
Yeah, so Twi'lek adjacent.
Twi'lek adjacent.
Enough Twi'lek that we don't get sued for breaking copyright on Twi'leks or something.
Yeah. Enough
Legally distinct space babes.
something that my thoughts don't get a cease and desist by Disney. So
So you are having some 0G basketball going on. You are waiting patiently in all of your sort of droid glory, and you have got your feet up on the piloting console in the cockpit, thinking about those lovely head tails, very slowly caressing the side of your cheek, when you are suddenly jolted awake by the vibration of the console and the sound of a communication ping. Weep, weep, weep. You see that there is an incoming message from a terminal further into the Koblenz 9 space station.
we are the Velvet Gold Mine. Correct?
Velvet Gold Mine, that's right.
And all of a sudden you hear, what was that behind your shoulder?
God!
Sneak up on me.
Beat a little.
Hello, this is the Velvet Gold Mine. This is your pilot and sometimes captain, sometimes technician, sometimes coffee maker, Charley Dekker speaking.
I'm so glad I'm shooting hoops.
So you see on screen the static materializes. the static resolves itself into the picture of an alien being, which is not unusual. Koblenz 9 is home to quite a lot of operations from quite a lot of different races and different planets and systems and so on. you see that this alien showing up on the view screen, funnily enough, has head tails much like the Twi'lek. You see that this creature has got a sort of a navy skin with purple striations along its face tentacles, or what you call head tails, that are sort of going off to the side and then sort of drape over the shoulder. And then the headpiece that this alien has, essentially an extended brow that goes far above the head and then sort of curls out into almost like a crest.
Okay.
Right.
Popcorn stuck to your nose.
This creature is staring at you with orange eyes, with unusually large pupils for a humanoid species. Dressed in a crisp, clean, white jumpsuit, with a what looks like a logo patch or something on the shoulder, but you're not able to tell exactly what it is right now. You see the alien sort of tap on the screen in front of it. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Ah, yes. You are the pilot of the Velvet Goldmine, yes?
You got it.
Excellent. Are you the person on board who is responsible for accepting employment?
Yes.
What was that?
Next to
No,
you.
nothing. It was just a toaster. Can you?
God
yes. Yeah, that would be me.
We're adding you to the list of people who might be getting jettisoned out in airline.
I'm slowly cracking my knuckles.
Well, seriously,
behind-
I can't.
right by your ear.
It just ends up I can't play an RPG without Rachel wanting to just roll her eyes at me just at least a little bit, and now having to just constantly meet that expectation.
Oh no, you don't have to meet it. It's okay. You could play a different kind of character. I won't.
What part of this character doesn't cause her to roll her eyes?
But it's not a natural eye rolling, because it's an android. It's a very slow mechanical roll.
Yeah.
Really drives home the point.
The alien gives you a sort of a brief, kind of crisp nod. Excellent. I am Dr. Baksu Antid. I am one of the scientific personnel on the various projects that Iapetus Limited is working on. Perhaps you've heard of me?
How do you spell that?
I believe I've heard your name in passing.
IAPETUS
Thank you.
Limited.
I-A.
IAPETUS.
And what would a fine gentleman like yourself need our
Gentleman?
crew assistant for?
Is it a gentleman?
It is. It's.
Backsuit? Okay.
It seems to be presenting in a male. It seems
Okay.
like.
Sorry,
Sounded
normally I know
pretty-
that, yes.
It sounded pretty androgynous, so I was like, hold on, are we
Now,
sure?
now this.
Oh, yeah.
This alien is. You've seen this type of alien before, right? This alien is a Michai, which is a humanoid-looking, species which has pretty clearly distinguishable.
Sorry, maybe I just missed that part of the
Like
description.
sexual features. Does that make no? I mean, sexual characteristics. Does that make
Sure.
sense?
Right.
Like secondary characteristics, right?
Right.
So this is clearly to you. It looks like a male.
Most of the time I just go off his voice.
Cool.
A male of the Michai.
No.
And just hope.
Yeah.
I come to you in a matter of great urgency and need. I understand that your crew participates in, shall we say, questionable endeavors?
Extra legal.
I would. Sure. That's a term for it. And what questionable endeavors would you need us to perform?
A question that I am willing to pay 20 million credits for you to solve.
Yes.
As I just...
Yeah.
That's... You got it. What's the nature of this thing?
Well, you see, Iapetus Limited has several scientific and industrial concerns throughout the Kenshi Ita sector. one of those concerns was exploration and anthropological and archaeological exploration of the outermost parts of the sector. Specifically, one of their scientific research vessels, the Alexis, was sent to the one of the farthest areas in the sector, specifically the Foxhalore system, and it has not been heard from by standard communication for 18 days.
Whoa.
That's quite a long time. Do you want us to check in on them?
I want you to jump to the Foxhalore system, try to find the whereabouts of the Alexis, and let me know as soon as possible through hyperspace transmission whether or not they are, alive.
Okay.
But let us keep this between you and I and the rest of your crew, because this is not an officially sanctioned operation of the Iapetus Limited Corporation. I am offering this money to you from my project's supplementary budget for other affairs.
Understood. Discreet. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Keep it quiet. Understand. So, you, just to be clear, you just want us to go and check in on them. There's nothing else you want us to do.
Exactly. Now, your human face reads confusion.
You have to understand, that's a lot of money just to go and check in on someone. Is there any problems you expect to be seen, or why so much money?
Simply because the outer reaches of the sector are wild or unknown. There could be any number of hazards, either to your crew members or to your ship, that we simply cannot anticipate.
If we encounter a threat, do they want us to deal with it?
Right, of course. If there seems to be something going on with your ship, and let's say the worst happens, and people are not being able to be located, what would you like us to do? If there's a threat, would you like us to deal with it? Or if there's no one on the ship, do you want us to ping it?
I implore you to use your best judgment in the face of dangers or threats. In the event that the Alexis does not respond, I hope that the fee that I am it's not a fee exactly anymore. It's the payment that I am proposing will encourage you to dock with the ship and explore and investigate should they not respond to your hails. If in that instance you are unable to find any presence of the crew, or worse yet, you find them deceased, then you will report that information back to me through hyperspace communication, and I will deliver that information to Iapetus Limited Corporation.
You got it. It'll be done.
Excellent. Now, I must warn you, the journey is quite long. You will not be able to go on normal thrusters. You will have to use your jump drive, and it is a long journey accordingly, so you will have to utilize your cryosleep pods.
Oh, that's one. Sure.
Very well. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you will contact me very soon with your results.
Will do. I got us a job. It's like it's zero G, like it's happening throughout the whole ship. I just take my feet off the console, like start spinning like towards Lynx as I'm like singing about us getting employment.
So 43.8% chance of us dying while we undertake this mission.
Shooting hoops and just hearing this song approaching at distance.
That means over 50% for us to live. I'll take it.
Them are pretty good odds.
That's better than a coin flip. Alright, so Lynx.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Nailed it. All right.
You're still watching basketball drift towards the hoop. You're gonna make that
good. It's good.
It's good.
As I am holding on to the hoop and kind of swinging back and forth in 0G. I got us a job. 20 million credits. As I take it off and I'm now spinning this way.
20 million.
Yep. We can pay off this rust bucket in no time. Well, all we gotta do is this nerd contacted us about his company that he's doing some low-key job for. And
Stop talking.
all we need to do is go to the ship that he told us to go check out to see if the crew's alive or dead, he doesn't care, and tell him what's up. And then after that, we come back, make the easiest payday of our lives, and then we are good to go. And then I can be on Malachor 5.
Kara, what isn't Dekker telling me?
It's in the outer reaches.
I mean, it's in the outer reaches, but
Don't you have something to do?
I'm telling him that we got a job.
I always get cryo sick, you know that. It's 20 million.
Cryo sleep, hyperspace drive.
Yeah, it's a long jump. But 20 million credits,
They haven't been
I'll
heard
jump
of
on
for
you.
18 days. Haven't heard from 18 days.
There's something going on with the crew now. So
Do you know how
It's
long
the-
the jump's going to be for us?
I have to check. I did. I'd like to say, if it wasn't a quick check, that during the conversation I was checking that time on the map, how long.
Or are you doing the classic compute the route? And it's...
It's as he's talking, I'm just slowly bringing it up on another screen.
For if you were to go there and see via thrusters, for example, it would take you along the lines of 40-something days to get to that particular system, and then going into that system would take an additional number of days just trying to find out where this ship is.
You said just normal thrusters would do that?
Normal thrusters.
Oh.
So basically...
Well, so we're not going to be in cryo for very long.
You'll be in cryo, and then it'll seem like time has done nothing to you, but you will be in cryo for a matter of days. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't
They
think
will
of
be
it.
in cryo. I don't have to be in cryo.
No,
Android.
you can just be awake.
So, it's a long jump. It's in the edge, but
If it pays that well, sure, why not?
and it's simple recon.
Nothing's ever simple.
No, it isn't. But it's kind of our job.
Now, you
right?
do have an option here. The Velvet Gold Mine is equipped with a Generation 4 jump drive. What that means is that you have two options. You have the quick option, which is get to the Foxalore system as fast as possible by doing a level 4 jump. That is going to be...
More expensive?
That is going to be expensive because it will drain more fuel, and it will bring about a certain amount of risk, right? Or you can do sort of 2 short hops, if that makes sense. Sort of covering half in one jump and then half again.
If they only have to defrost you, let's just do the shorter jumps. We're trying to make more money here. Right?
Minimize cost and risk.
No.
Yeah.
Have to defrost you. Or sorry.
Just you. You're the one punching numbers in.
No. All right. Well.
I don't want to get woken up twice and spend that time puking. Once is enough.
That's fair. All right.
I'll be more than happy to wake you up twice.
And collect your puke for analysis.
As far as I'm concerned, if they haven't been talking for 18 days, I'm going to be talking for another 10. So, 2 short jumps is fine. It didn't seem like time sensitive, and
It was not time sensitive, but it was information sensitive. We should not share what we are doing or where we are going. It is not an official...
The information that Dr. Anton gave you seemed to indicate that, they've been missing for 18 days. It is time sensitive. There wasn't a deadline, but
True, but you should,
the longer you wait,
you should get
the
there.
more likely
you'll never get
there's
any
nobody
answers.
there.
Yeah.
But it is also information sensitive.
Yeah.
So we should not go talking to other people about what we're about to be doing.
I'm good about my jobs.
We should just toss... first, set the course, then we toss him in the cryo tubes.
sounds perfect. It's one of those things where I wait till he leaves the room and then I explain everything else.
Just like, all right. So what didn't he tell me?
I got some 20 million credits.
As soon as he's out of earshot, there's a 43.8% chance of us dying on this mission.
But 50% we're going to live.
Now you're still the calm and broadcasting of the ship.
If they haven't contacted us contacted anyone without 18 days, we have to accept the possibility that there is another life form or illness on the ship that is taking care of the rest of them.
So we want to take precautions, but at least it's better than a coin flip.
We could also, it might not be a bad idea to research Impetus Limited to see what kind of ventures they're typically into.
And what they may be willing to go into. Especially if they mention this was a little off the books, then...
Yes. If they are researching something, we need to know what area. What we are stepping in, as you humans say.
If I remember right, there were anthropology and archaeology. So yeah, that's very easily could be diseases, new species, all sorts of things.
Correct.
Ancient alien curses.
Oh yeah, right.
You gotta watch out for those bio curses.
All right.
So I preface to assuming all repairs are done, to undock and make our way downtown.
Okay, you signal to the docking control that you are ready to disembark. They process the request and then wish you bon voyage, and you disengage, and now you are floating in free space using your thrusters to fly away from the deep space station. So, what are you going to go for? The high-risk jump or the 2 safe jumps?
I think we just had the 2 safe jumps.
2 safe jumps? Okay.
But what are you going
I'm
I
sitting,
know, I told you we were going to do this.
I'm sitting in this chair next to you, staring at you as you do all this. Looking as unhuman as possible because I know it freaks you out.
There's a barely perceptible whirring noise.
Man, I wish you wouldn't have said that. That's good.
Yeah, oh no. I know the type of characters you like to run, and I also like getting us in trouble, so it's a way I can play a character who doesn't do these things and still have these things happen.
All right, I look over to Carina, and I'm like, Carina, before we can you check? Can you check the fuel readouts? I think they're bugging out again.
Slowly tilt my head to one side.
I immediately punch it.
So you're doing the fast.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need you to make an intelligence check. And if you've got piloting, that piloting bonus goes on, so that's plus 10, right?
Cool.
Yep.
And roll this with disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
So how does disadvantage work?
Possibly.
So you're rolling percentage again.
Ah, okay. And
Right.
you take the lower.
Mm-hmm.
Or the higher, because we're going for under, right?
Yes, you're going for equal or under. So
Okay.
All right. So this is a 33, and that is my highest.
okay, and is it under your
That
intellect
is-
plus piloting?
Oh, it's intellect plus piloting, and that gives me plus 10.
Plus 2.
Yep, so that's 42.
That's 40. Yeah.
So that is a critical success.
Oh,
doubles under.
This is why we keep him around.
Very good. So you,
It's true. My roll.
without
He's
even looking,
dangerous, but he's good.
and you've already plugged
Yeah.
in the astronav
like an
coordinates.
hour ago.
Yeah, like, you're just ready to go. So you crank the throttle and engage the jump drive, and you see that there is now a 5-minute countdown initiating right there on the display glass in front of you. That is indicating now, sort of flashing like engage cryosleep pods, engage cryosleep pods.
All right. Well, see you all in the next amount of days.
Oh, I'll make sure to wake you up.
A thumbs up as I leave the room as the door shuts.
And I'm just following you.
You have artificial gravity on the ship, by the way. Whether or not you want to use it.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I imagine we don't use it too often. One of those
He
where
uses
we're
power
like,
too, so
yeah, where we're like,
It does. Yeah.
we don't even have like life support on in areas we aren't using.
Sure,
It's like,
yeah.
all right, turn it on when we're
Conserve.
going to get in there.
it's
As soon
Yeah.
as the door shuts, I say, jackass. Under my
You
breath.
don't have swearing protocol.
I sure do.
Oh, we definitely added those.
So,
I picked them up from Charley
I adapted.
or Lynx.
So Lynx and Dekker, you guys are entering cryo sleep right now.
I've been just like prepping the locker nearby with everything I'm expecting. Like, the moment I get out, I can just suit up and be ready to go.
Sure.
So it's got gun, explosives, standard battle dress, drugs.
I walk in and add a bucket.
Thank you. Almost forgot.
Pause for a moment. Pick up a second bucket. Set it down next to the first one.
Just in case.
I like it when we play RPGs. RPGs are great, guys. I just want to only play RPGs with you guys. And I like
If my memory serves me, which it always does, I believe you needed 1.8 of a bucket last time. How many fluids have you had today?
The usual, probably far too much for going into cryo.
Pick up a third bucket. Sleep well.
Thanks.
I'll only wake you up once.
This show
It's a
came with
blessing.
an endless supply of buckets. It was previously
It's
like
stocked
a bucket craft.
Fucking stocked
Shipping
up, man. I got
buckets
them at
across
at
the
the
galaxy.
Space Dollar Store, okay?
Yeah,
They're
nothing is
$50.
$1 in space, I'm afraid. Everything is
sure
a
the
dollar. If it had the dollar store in space, everything is $1 plus the insane amount of fuel it costs to get it into space.
It came equipped with 3 buckets.
Artificial
I
gravity
took
is
his,
only
and I don't
used
need one.
in the cryo chamber because otherwise it's gross.
Yeah.
As soon as you go into cryo sleep, I pick up your bucket. And
Okay, so the capsules close around you, and there's that.
Spending my last moments looking at this hollow snake girl, as I always do. One day.
You see her writhing and jittering. It's been a little bit on the fritz since your last mission.
I've been meaning to fix that.
So it looks a little more herky-jerky than you would like. But, beggars can't be choosers. So the cryosleep pods close. There's that very familiar noise as they fill with this ice-cold gas that begins to erode away your consciousness, and you black out. In the meantime, Carina, you're still up and about, attending to the ship.
sure am.
For the next few days, everything is all the systems are reading nominally.
Wonderful.
Everything seems to be going according to plan.
Okay.
And sure enough, on the 3rd day, the ship leaps out of hyperspace with a quick kind of judder, and you are floating in open space.
Cool. And he did the riskier one too, right? So we only have one.
Oh, did you do the risky one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. I need you to roll a D100.
Thanks.
I've got critical success. I did everything I could.
I got a 90.
A 90.
Who knows where that lies? Maybe it's good.
I don't know. It's just a random table, I guess, because it's not one of my skills.
See, the thing about random tables is that though no one wants to explicitly say that like 1 or 100 is good or bad, but you know.
Well, which kind of table is this one?
I know. Is it the good or the bad?
Okay, so you take a look around just out of the cockpit, and you see that it looks like empty space, just sort of an empty region of space.
I mean, I have computers. I can do a check.
Then do a computer check.
Cool. So what do I roll a D100 or roll 2D10 or what do I do?
You roll, most of the time you're rolling percentile.
Okay.
Right? So
Alright.
10's and a 1, and then you're trying to roll equal to or under your intellect plus computer skill, if you have it.
No.
Oof.
79 of 49.
Okay, so you punch in some, and you find that the system is being obstinate. It's clear that it's still The internal calculations are kind of winding down from
cool.
the transition from hyperspace to normal space. You're going to have to give the computer time to sort of like finish its protocols before you can make any sort of observations.
Well, ideally, he did the one jump, so we should be where we're supposed to be.
You should, yes.
So I will go and not so gently wake him up out of cryo sleep.
As you are making your way through the ship towards the cryo chamber, you see that as your footsteps are sort of clanking along the sort of plastisteel hallway,
Yeah.
you see that periodically out of the very periphery of your vision, you can see that there is a black shape beginning to move in front of you on the floor, attached to you, almost like your shadow, as if a light source was moving behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that shadow leave you and continue to go forward past you.
Cool.
I will take my cybernetic diagnostic scanner and...
First of all, I need you to make a sanity check.
Okay. Sanity or fear?
Sanity.
Come on.
It's sanity.
Fuck me. 30 of 20.
Okay. So you get out your your scanner.
Yeah.
There. Okay. You're going to use it.
Yeah.
So what kind of scanner was it again? I'm sorry.
It is a cybernetic diagnostic scanner.
Cybernetic diagnostic. Well, this you activate the scanner and then you point it in the direction of this anomaly, and you see that nope, no cybernetics here.
God damn it! I wish I had something else. Try my med scanner.
It doesn't appear to be a technical thing.
Yeah.
You do your med scanner. Take a moment. Switch scanners. Same kind of pulse.
That was good. Also, a very good sound effect.
Okay. This does not appear to be. Doesn't appear to be anything like a pathogen or a contagion or a bacteria.
Cool. All right.
Just not reading.
Pull up my sonic screwdriver.
Bullshit.
Damn it! Let's try.
Oh no, I gave that to Charlie before he went, damn! No.
I would never give that to him.
No, Charlie stole it before he went, no!
This is as you're walking down the plastisteel corridor, your footsteps echoing.
Yeah.
It is, even for an android, unnerving.
Yeah.
Mostly because it does not track with the consistent logic of the lighting inside the ship. It sure looks like your shadow, but why would it be walking ahead of you?
I will try going faster. I have a speed of 45.
Okay, so you kind of increase your pace. You're going from a walk to sort of a light jog.
Yeah.
You find that the shadow is actually keeping pace with you ahead, and has accelerated to match your speed.
Just stop.
It stops, and you see that the shadow keeps going for about a meter, and then stops.
What are you?
Your voice echoes lightly in the plastisteel hallway. No response.
I fucking sprint whole hog, like just barrel down past it into the cryosleep chamber and slam the door shut behind me
Okay,
to get ahead of it.
so you make a break for it. Give me a speed check.
Okay, I'm gonna use a different set of D100. Got a 91.
91, and your speed was what?
45.
45.
Well, if I add athletics, it's 55.
Yeah, add athletics. Yeah, 55. Okay.
Damn.
So you
Can't roll anything.
you make a break for it, shunk, 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 shunk,
Yeah, man.
and you find that there is a brief static discharge in one of the servos in your right ankle.
Oh, man.
And there is a quick kind of juddering, and you find yourself slightly
Hobbled.
Slightly thrown off. You take sort of a controlled careening against the side of the hallway into where the sort of door frame is with the plastisteel door.
Mm-hmm.
There's a brief kind of wince of damage. There's a little bit of ringing as your frame sort of vibrates.
Yeah.
And as you are, turned around by this collision, you see that the shadow has actually begun to walk away from you back down the hallway.
What's going on with us?
All right, Cryo.
You
So I
guys,
was like, do we? Is it automatically like? Does this thing like start, or are we waiting for?
you guys are still in cryo. There is an option for that to be tied to the computer systems, but normally, since you have an android on board, you have an active person monitoring the cryo sleep chambers and then manually disengaging them. In the case of instances where you need to be woken up sooner than the computer has sort of
Pre-programmed.
Something a process we've done. I've only slightly protested, but I lost a rock paper scissors match against
you mean a lizard spot,
yeah,
whatever the other one is.
I will.
to Carina every time. I've never won.
Just because you can analyze all your moves.
Cheating.
Paper distance.
Sure can. I will rush into the cryo sleep chambers, like hit the buttons I need to while trying to keep an eye on the hallway. Pick up the SMG that Lynx has by her cryo sleep chamber, and head back out to follow the shadow.
Okay, so you rush
I
in,
activate it.
and then you hear the noise, and suddenly you feel warmth and consciousness returning to your body. The cryo sleep capsule tops begin to open up. There's a plume of sort of almost like dry ice, steam and smoke escaping from the cryopod, and sure enough, you are racked to life with a sudden sharp inhalation of breath and an incredible queasiness in your stomach that you don't take well.
Where's the android?
Give me a body check, please.
And I'm taking off back down the hallway past the to the shadow, by the way.
I'm just personally rolling this at disadvantage because
No, yeah, absolutely.
You've already.
I'm rolling with
Yeah,
it.
you've already said that, like.
Does not take
queasy.
well.
Yeah.
Wow, might have made it.
Technically, for this,
Were those the same?
31.
did you actually make it?
Yeah, that Marine's body is 35.
Okay, very good.
Just made it.
So you feel like you're gonna hurl, and you do once, and then you feel suddenly enough a calm in your stomach, like this is the best outcome that could have happened.
The queasiness is gone.
I immediately.
You do notice off to your side, however, that your SMG is missing.
Okay, the queasiness is back. Do the quick, run over, check through everything. After realizing it's not there, just get the battle gear on, make do with what we've got.
You see,
I'm
you see
just-
Lynx putting the battle gear on.
I'm just still naked, and I'm actually walking towards the bridge to checking everything.
You see the back of Carina sprinting with what looks like an SMG in her hand towards the front of the ship.
So I'm just still rubbing my eyes. I'm sauntering towards.
Want to
Towards
comment,
the
but
bridge.
As soon as I hear you approach, I will stick out the SMG to stop you before you get too close to me.
She's gone mad. Finally, kill her.
Shut up!
Don't you tell me what to do. You
We are
traitorous
in
robot.
deep space, and there's a weird, not us thing on this ship. Go get some goddamn clothes on and get back out here.
I get up. I'm close to her. I'm like. I just throw up
Throw
on
him
the
a little
robot.
bit, yeah.
I throw on the robot. Okay, I feel much better. All right, I'm gonna go get clothes. You go.
Do like an athletics check to get the fuck out of the way of that nastiness.
In this case, no.
Why? Why are you on his side?
I'm just saying this is sci-fi horror, so I have
No,
to.
no.
Whenever
you're
people
clearly-
get vomited on, I
Clearly
have
on
to.
his side.
there's absolutely no way you can avoid it.
That's
Apparently.
not cool.
Sorry, sometimes you get vomited on.
No.
Snicker.
So while you were interacting,
To be fair, Jason and I have made the slight conclusion that it's okay that we exchange fluids. So
that's true. We did talk about that before.
Okay,
So
I'm not concerned.
while you were interacting with Dekker,
I have not removed my eyes from the.
so you
The
were just
shadow.
like talking at him, but still watching the shadow.
Sure, fucking was.
That's so
Okay.
rude of me.
You notice that
seems
the
about
shadow
right,
is
though. Yeah.
is continuing to walk at a pretty leisurely pace, or rather travel, along the floor, and it seems to be tracing. You can see based on the manipulation, the breaking of the shadow periodically, that it is climbing up a service ladder and heading to the sort of main deck of the ship, towards the front end, the fore of the ship.
And all you will hear is me going, Lynx!
As I pass by you as you're coming, Carina saw a Minoc or something. I'm going to
I'll
go.
fling
Fine.
I'll fling the SMG onto my back and climb up after it.
She's gone full Terminator. I don't know. I'm gonna go grab.
Show you
Like
fucking
have the clothing on, but
Terminator.
not like buckled properly
Sure,
at this
yeah.
point, and just like making my way down the hallway after this,
I'm grabbing orange
cinching up the
shoes.
belt as we go.
We got some,
What
right?
the hell is going on?
You could go to the galley. You probably get some orange juice.
I was hoping we replenished our orange shoe supply.
No.
Oh.
Well, when you went into dock, you have enough galley stuff for a month. So you're
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I think it's like one of those nice purchases you got.
It is a nice purchase. Yeah.
I had to take my fucking jacket off because he threw up on it.
Okay.
So now there's a puke stained jacket on the floor,
Are you not just like?
that.
and I have like
Are you
half
just
a
like-
jumpsuit on because you puked on me.
What type of? I just want to know like, what do you look like? Because I'm thinking of like the Mass Effect
Edie?
Edie, like when she gets the chrome. I'm like, are you full metal?
No,
Well, she's an android,
Android,
right?
so
Not a
I-
robot.
I look completely human. I just look slightly. I'm too still to actually be human. So I'm thinking very much like Prometheus,
Oh, okay.
David type,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
except I'm a
cool.
chick. So
Sweet.
Where there's no like rising and falling of like the
Yeah.
lungs and stuff. So you're like, there's just something off.
I'm too still. But I imagine I'm like average height and with a slight build. I'm not built to like tackle people. I'm built to like explore and investigate stuff.
But you are heavier than most people. Sheer by weight of material, so
Yes.
you could probably tackle me.
Yeah, I could tackle people, but I'm not specifically built for that. And I had just like a fucking like spaceship, like the jumpsuits you see like all of them wear.
Sure.
And I had a jacket on over that, so now I have to like take the jacket off and toss it on the floor because he threw up on it. And it's just like a gray jumpsuit, and I have an SMG, strapped to my back now.
Oh man, I'm glad I came today. This is everything I wanted.
So the two of you are rushing. You saw the shadow
I'm
seem
just
to
following
Okay.
it with the
So
SMG strapped to my back.
you catch sort of the lower legs and feet of Carina making their way up the service ladder up to the main deck.
Carina, what's going on?
Not even bothering with a lift. There is a lift to get up to the different decks of the ship.
I don't know. It's something. I don't know what this is. Come up here.
All right.
You can have your gun back.
Our friend Dekker here. So you wander barefoot into the galley,
It's still cold.
searching for some
Lights are
OJ.
coming back on.
Yeah, I haven't bothered with like temperature.
You get the worst case of cold feet you have ever had.
Oh, it's so cold.
I made sure Lynx had shoes next to her crown.
Boy, she always hides my shoes. Janky robot we bought from Chinese dealer. It was on a firmware update in 2 years.
It's for the personality.
It's the quarks, yeah.
So you are wandering into the galley, and you make your way over to the left-hand side, opening the containers, looking for where you stashed that orange juice.
Where is the
And you suddenly realize that behind you, in the center of the galley room, is what looks like a full dining room table. And that dining room table, in what is a polished wood lacquered style, in a kind of sort of Baroque sort of aesthetic to it, that table is dressed with a feast. You see all manner of roasted meats and fine vegetables and delicate fruits all on various plates. And there are what look like 3 place settings in addition to multiple other chairs, with bare plates and bare silverware, all ready for you to dig in.
Oh, you beautiful rust bucket.
Even curiouser.
I wish he was here. I'm making fun of her.
Even curiouser, just in front of the 3 plates that have been set, right? The rest of the table is not set for people to dine. In front of those plates is what looks like... It's marble, you know that. Those look like busts.
Oh, in front of the plate. Oh.
Sitting on the table in front of... Sort of staring at the seat.
Staring at the seat, I see. Okay.
Nearby one of the plates. So if you were to sit down at one of these chairs, you'd have an empty plate in front of you, silverware all laid out,
and then
and a marble bust staring directly at you.
Okay.
Sounds creepy as hell.
I'm like, all right, never mind. This has gone from endearing to weird. She's
You
trying.
think I've done all this?
Yeah.
Cool.
You are
You're
closest.
real
You are closest to the left-hand side of the table as you are looking for your OJ, and as you're taking it into the scene, you realize that the marble bust closest to you is an exact likeness of Lynx.
Okay, wow, this robot had way too much time on her hands. I don't even remember. Well, we're gonna tell her not to buy things on the station anymore.
Jesus.
Regardless, I'm gonna go step away. I'm gonna go sit in front of the one that's meant for me, but I'm still gonna be very upset. I assume is there OJ on the table?
No OJ on the table.
I asked her. She bought all of this and she didn't buy some damn OJ. Oh my god. Fine. Water will do. And I just sit down and in front of the bust that's representing me.
So you make your way around the table, and sure enough, there are 2 other busts, and they are of Carina and you, respectively. You sit down in front of yours.
I look at mine and I'm like...
It's a pretty detailed likeness.
Wow.
This was clearly finely sculpted.
Okay. As I start to help myself of the food on the table. So.
Okay, you take bits of roasted meats and fruits and everything like that, and you just begin chowing down.
Oh, to begin chowing down.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Oh my
so
God,
you
you're gonna die.
so you shovel food into your mouth, and it is probably the best food you've ever had. It seems like every piece is cooked to perfection or just ripe enough. It is the most delicious meal, hands
You
down.
guys
that you've ever
messed up. I think I'm chasing some shadow. Here I am.
Half naked.
Half naked.
Enjoying breakfast.
That's
Did you put on pants?
No.
No.
Then you're just naked.
No, I put on this underwear. And
Oh, okay.
I'm wearing a shirt, but there's no pants.
We're in the classic Ripley.
Yeah.
Underwear
The
and-
skivvy.
Full skin.
Except you're a guy, so you inherently look creepy.
Yeah.
You have a white
Just a
t-shirt on.
shirt and,
Yeah.
and underwear.
It's-
Who am I to please?
It's
I don't know. You're the one.
overly comfortable at that.
You're the one who's on a ship with 2 females and dressing like that. So you tell me. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you're an android. You don't care.
One's an android and one can kick my ass. I don't think it's like...
Excuse me. We both could kick your ass.
Yeah, okay, fair point. That's what I'm saying. I like to think that there's maybe some small nugget of time where I made that pass against Lynx. I just got socketed
Oh,
for
definitely.
it.
Yeah.
And
No,
we don't.
yeah.
And we don't. And homie don't play that game.
We don't ever talk
So
about
we
that
don't
again.
talk about that.
It was a very clear, it was oh, yeah, really? You want to go for coffee? How'd you like your coffee? Black is night?
Not as black as that bruise.
Yeah, you've been on the Velvet Gold Mine long enough. That happened once.
Yeah, once.
Once. Only once.
And it's probably one of the few times you ever heard me laugh.
It was just a pre-recorded wave file.
Making it like probably the creepiest experience we've had on the ship as well.
So, meanwhile, Lynx, you and Carina have made your way up the service ladder, and you see what looks like that same shadow figure continuing to move along the floor at a pretty still a pretty what seems like a casual pace, making its way into the just underneath the slight gap between the cockpit door and the small series of steps leading up to the cockpit.
I will hurry
Yep.
Okay.
Get to the cockpit and
and
see
just say,
what it's doing.
"Do you see that?"
Yeah, it's so
And
it's
Crust, I see
it's
you
kind of
are
like a
also a
living
person.
shadow in the
It's
sense
as if
that it's
as
the
if a shadow is
part of it.
Exactly. It's as if your shadow was just not attached to you anymore. It was
It
just doing
Peter
its own
Panned
thing.
off.
Exactly.
Okay,
I was like,
yeah.
it's Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Peter Pan show.
You got to catch your shadow sometimes. I'm gonna as I'm noticing it's running off. I'm gonna do a quick check of do I have a shadow? Does Carina have a shadow?
You notice that Carina does not have a shadow.
I'm gonna grab you on the shoulder as we're moving before we get into the room. Hold on a second. You usually have a shadow.
Yes,
Don't.
I know.
Carina, you notice that Lynx does not have a shadow either.
You don't have one either.
It was just. I start looking for it.
Always empty.
Okay, that's weird.
We need you between it and the cockpit, don't we?
How? I turn off all the lights.
Go into the switchboard and just shut them off.
Oh, what the fuck?
You're right by the cockpit, right?
You wanted to go into the cockpit?
Mm-hmm.
Door's locked.
Oh.
Beer.
Well, you don't have the fucking key to open our own cockpit?
Somehow the cockpit door's been locked from the inside.
Does our computer have a name? Can we call out and talk to it?
Yeah. What kind of?
Oh,
what
do we want to open up that box?
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Mother, open the door.
Steve Jobs,
Yes.
open the door.
Mother, oh my god.
Mother?
No, no.
Okay,
no,
so you
no.
asked Mother to open the door.
Yes.
Okay. This
We're
is
gonna
gonna
do
be
it.
bad.
We're gonna do it.
Mother's good. I love.
You
I love the
hear
reference.
Daddy. No.
No.
Sorry.
No.
you hear you hear the familiar tones, the soft
Alien porn parody going on over there.
the soft proper voice of Mother coming over the comm system. So the child can go to bed now.
She's waiting on you.
I'll
Go to
be in
bed.
a second. Go get in bed. You hear Mother coming over the comm sequence. I'm unable to do so.
Mother, override and whatever the code is to override the door.
Okay.
Override code, blah, 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 blah. Open the door.
I'm afraid I don't recognize the override code, miss.
Yes, you do.
Could you repeat?
Override code
Blah, 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 blah.
39850.
I'm afraid I don't recognize the override code, miss.
Mother, I'd like to access the changes to the override codes in the past 4 hours.
A recent change has been made with administrative privilege.
By whom?
68 seconds ago.
How can it touch things? It's a shadow.
Log does not register a name.
Mother, I'd like to... How do you report spaceship fraud?
You can call your local space police department. And
So, Mother, I'd like to report a security code breach of code red. Dangerous force on the ship. Overriding codes. And I'll give in that override code. 479010.
with that, what does this do?
Code red status engaged. Locking all doors.
Unlock cockpit door.
I'm unable to do so.
I'm trying to override the override.
I am unable to do so.
What kind of roll can I make to try to override the override?
You could. It seems like the mother cannot do it automatically or by your sort of verbal command. You could try to get into the door, sort of in an old-fashioned way by rejiggering it, mechanically speaking.
Computers or
Computers, or you could do mechanical repair to try to physically open the door, or computers to try to force a software change from this side. Does that make sense? A sort of local change. Yeah.
well, let's see what the fuck happens.
I'll be prepped and ready to try to mechanically force this open.
I would like to, once finishing, meet up with them unless there's something that changes.
So you finished eating, and you are fat and happy.
Fat and sassy.
You scoot back from the table and get up, take a big stretch, and feel the warmth of food in your belly. And you turn and you see that there is what looks like a black figure on the ground in front of you.
Like
Two-dimensional.
Oh, yeah.
It's about...
And I don't...
It's several feet away from you and between you and the exit to the galley.
Huh. You know what the robot was talking about. Hi, buddy.
We just need like a little stopwatch where it says you're about to be murdered in.
You see very slowly, again, out of the sort of the bottom of your peripheral vision, you see what looks like another black figure moving underneath you, moving forward, and then as it touches the other black figure, it seems to puddle up almost like a liquid and grow bigger. Now it is twice the size that it used to be.
Great.
I try to poke it
With the stick
With what?
or your hand?
with a fork. A spoon, very
Nice.
caressingly.
Sanity check first off,
Yeah, you got it.
as you witness this thing.
I should probably make one for seeing it as well. Not this one, but the other one.
Yes, please make a sanity check for that.
14.
So did you pass?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That's it's based off of sanity is
Your
it-
save. Remember, it's in your class.
Oh, yes.
You saved.
Oh,
You got a 14.
Okay.
I did not.
Well, hey, buddy.
Just start like playing with it.
Yeah, hey.
Can we discuss the fact that the two of us didn't save, but you did?
Well, I'm just too...
He's too loose
I guess so.
in more than one way.
So you failed.
Yes.
Gain 1 point of stress. So you're up at 3 now.
Yep.
Now the way that works, just to help you out and give you a kind of context, is that when you panic, you roll on a table to determine what happens to you,
And stress
And-
is your modifier.
and stress is your modifier. Yes.
Neat.
Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. Resolve is a modifier to the panic effect table, but stress is like you have to roll equal to or lower than it to panic.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
If you roll over your current stress, you don't panic and you relieve 1 stress. If you roll equal to or lower than your current stress, you panic and move on to step 2, figuring out what the panic effect is.
Okay.
And so, like... And
You either deal
when,
with it.
how do you... When do you roll that panic? Or is that just what you do when you roll a sanity roll?
Panic, sometimes you're going to make... the panic is entirely, like, determined by me and by context, right?
Okay, but there will be times where I'll be like, make a panic roll.
Yes, like there will be a point where I'll be like, so like here's an example, like whenever your ship takes a critical hit, seeing another crew member die, like really horrifying situations, then we check for panic.
Right.
Other just sort of very uncomfortable things, like anytime the ship you're in takes a hit, getting knocked unconscious, going without food or water, certain creatures that give you stress just by interacting with them, then you would do a sanity check, gain stress, you know.
Okay.
And normally, do you, because of how the numbers involved, do you normally roll a non-percentile
No, you still roll percentile.
for panic?
Yes.
Oh, that seems really easy to succeed.
Well, the first part of a panic check is a stress check, right?
Oh, I see.
It's 2d10.
Okay.
So
more
not a percentile. So it's just 2d10 regular, like so you're adding those
Yeah.
single digits together. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So that's what I'm
They're
saying.
at
So
40.
like,
Yeah.
So as stress goes up,
Okay.
Yeah.
it's
The likelihood of you panicking gets higher.
Gotcha. All right.
So this black figure in front of you, this two-dimensional sort of shape, that it seems to be sort of writhing and moving about on the floor between you and the exit to the galley. And so you're going to try to poke it.
not caress it.
Okay, so, well, you did succeed on your check, so
Yes.
you were kind of unsteadied, but
No, this is-
you take one of the spoons off of the feasting table.
Right.
You reach forward and you try to stroke with a spoon this shadow thing.
Yeah.
This is how aliens happen.
That was probably on the list of
Literally
things you
how
didn't
it
think you'd have to say tonight.
No, I definitely thought I would say that. Yeah.
Well, I guess you did know Nick was coming in.
Yes, I did say, so there's no
That's
problem.
fair.
So,
I'm here to meet and exceed all expectations.
as you begin to... so you reach forward with the spoon, and just as the metal is about to make contact with the shadow, you see what looks like some kind of sort of a blurring motion and a sensation of air passing quickly. I need you to make a speed check.
Ooh.
Well, specifically, let's do...
Athletics?
Yes, if athletics qualifies here, then yes, it's speed plus athletics.
Speed and 10.
Just make it.
Okay. So you feel this, you see this blur, you feel this sort of hot blast of air near your face, and you kind of instinctively jerk out of the way, and you see what looks like a baseball bat sized shadow essence just
Oh, you're a mean
shoot out and then return to this figure.
Oh, you're a mean one. That's not good. Okay. Well, I'm gonna take one of the plates to just like essentially use as like
A shield?
as a face shield
Okay.
to protect my beautiful face, and like start moving towards the exit.
Okay, so you are kind of rotating around.
Let me take my bust. Let me take my bust too.
Okay, it's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
All right, so you're shouldering your bust, and you've got the
But
plate
my
there.
bust, my plate, and no pants. I'm ready.
Of course.
His vanity won't let him leave that bus behind. It's too good.
So you are continuing to sort of make your way around.
Like towards the bridge.
Sure,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
you're
doing,
trying to
like,
get out the galley.
while like shielding myself with this plate and bust in hand, ready to maybe use as a weapon if need be.
So as you're circling around, trying to circumvent this
Yeah.
this shadow and trying to get into the main corridor, you see that the shadow begins to sort of bubble, almost as if it's being boiled. And then suddenly, you see what was once a two-dimensional shape, but
It's
it's
still
bubbling.
attached to me, right?
No,
No.
it was been free floating on the floor
Oh, okay.
this whole time. It's bubbling now and gaining sort of a three-dimensionality to it. And then you see it sort of congeals and then begins to rise up in the shape of a human figure.
Oh, Lynx.
Fear check.
So what's... Oh, fear's the same.
There's your fear save.
You're not at disadvantage because I'm not in the room.
Is that... Oh, that's a zero.
Jesus.
Man, dude, my rolls have been hot tonight.
It's a 5, yeah.
You cannot be shaken. You are unshakable.
Yeah, Lynx. Lynx. As I just now shoot out of the...
So you very quickly,
Yeah.
with your bust, sort of
Yeah.
running down the
Yeah,
corridor
like, so
away
like,
from the
it's
galley.
like, what-
Is that a mosquito?
So, cutting back to the two of you, Lynx and Carina, you were going to make a check, an intellect plus computers check to try to get the door open?
I sure did. I got a 26 of 49.
Okay, very good.
Hotwire that door.
So you essentially access the nearby control panel, and you're able to do a local sort of manipulation of code to get it to manually open the door in front of you. You enter that in, and you see the door open up, and you see that inside what looks like what was the sort of cockpit panel where all of the instrumentation and controls are is covered in this sort of this darkness.
I'm not
What
shooting
kind of-
that.
What kind of check would I do to see if I know what the fuck this is?
You could make an intellect check. Maybe something like xenobiology or something like that would apply.
Don't have that. I can make an intellect check though.
I see why that's a master level skill.
No man, I got a 50 of 39.
This thing is incomprehensible to you. It doesn't look like any alien figure that you have in your memory.
Well, fuck it. I
Just
guess.
as you open the door and see the shadow, the ship sort of lurches forward for a moment. You hear Mother over the comm, engaging drive system. Jumping in 5 minutes.
Mother, shut down the drive system.
I am unable to do that.
We gotta get to engineering. We're gonna do this manual.
You hear what sounds like a Doppler sort of yelling coming from the lower
I
deck.
think it is signature at this point. It is very. It is a very. It is a thing I do often. When
It is very
panicked.
obviously Dekker.
don't have time for this.
So you're making your way, rushing down the corridor, heading towards the fore of the ship, where you last saw Lynx heading, and suddenly you hear what sounds like a wet slapping behind you. And you turn around and you see an entirely black figure, a human figure that looks like it's made out of tar, essentially, rushing after you at full speed.
Lynx, help me! You gotta kill me!
Dekker, pull your shit together.
No, come here! Something's trying to kill me.
Yeah, like it was last time. It
No,
was just a burrito.
for
Boy
real?
who cried wolf.
It's real this
The
time.
boy who cried tar monster.
Legs, come here! I'm gonna die.
How would I get to like the drive system from where we are?
Well, the drive controls would be there on the intro panel, on the cockpit panel.
But like manually.
Like going to, say, the drive system.
You know
and like
the
trying to,
sci-fi trope.
Yeah. You go to the problem directly.
you know that you'd have to go back down to the lower deck and then off to the right to access essentially the jump drive's mechanical systems.
That's the plan.
Okay. So you make your way back down the ladder, slide down,
Do the quick
and you
slide.
see Dekker rushing towards you with a bust of himself in one arm, a plate in the other, and you can see what looks like a sticky, hissing tar figure, human-shaped, running after him.
Get down!
So you
Plate on top of my head, just like
No, bust on top of your head so I can shoot the bust. You can be like, oh, that was close.
okay, so
hey,
we're
watch
gonna
your
make-
face.
So this thing's going to make an armor check.
And then I'm making a firearms and combat.
Yes, you'll do combat, and you'll add firearms to that, which is
So-
15%.
67. Not
You
bad.
kind of, equal or
Not
under
bad.
that, so that's pretty good. Yeah.
Not a success, though. That's a 90.
35.
I missed for one of two reasons. Either I didn't want to shoot you, or I had to stop and think about shooting.
Shooting you.
If I shoot him, it's going to be a whole thing.
Then I have to pilot. I don't like piloting.
So you hit the deck
Yeah.
with your bust and your plate, And what have you got on you?
The submachine gun, so it's kind of like level.
Oh, so
and
you
just
got it back
Take
from-
a sweep.
From her. Okay. So you got yourself. A series of shots fire, and they completely obliterate the plate that you're holding. Still, this tar figure
The target, not me.
running after you, drawing closer to you and to Dekker.
Okay. Is engineering in front of?
It is between you and the shadow. There is a sliding door that you'll have to access and then go in on the right-hand side.
Who is it closer to?
It is closer to Dekker, who
What's
is
going
between
on?
you and the tar figure.
The black creature.
I'll just shut the. I'll just shut the cockpit door. So I'm inside.
So you're in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to poke it with the stun baton.
Okay.
Yeah, get to engineering. And I'm gonna take another
As
couple
I,
rounds at this thing.
I will use his suppressive fire to try to move towards it. As I scream, where am I going?
Yeah, her.
Where am I going?
Her name's Rebecca.
You did the thing.
Did I do the thing?
You did do the thing.
Oh my god. From City of Mist,
Yes.
where instead of your actual,
Yep.
damn it.
What did you do? What happened?
No,
He said his.
Yeah, that's all.
yeah.
We do manage a hit this time.
Oh,
So,
very good.
A
The
52 out of 67.
Okay.
So your half-naked self goes to engineering.
yeah, my
So
half
you
naked
can
self
yell.
goes engineering, and I turn back to her. I'm like, why am I going? Where am I going?
Cut the hyperdrive.
Done. Wait, what?
So, Lynx, you take another round of fire with your SMG. You see it riddles the tar creature center mass. You see as sort of bits of this black viscous substance are popping out of it. You see it's not dissuading it whatsoever. It is continuing to run. But it was just enough time for Dekker for you to kind of squirrel out of the way and make your way through the right-hand sliding door towards the jump drive system. You take your stun baton and reach
I'm
out.
super quick about it. I'm just gonna
Just jab it?
yeah.
Okay.
If I need to, I will drop that stun baton in the hot.
So you take the
fucking
stun baton and you jab it, and so there's a sudden spark of electrical current, and you see that the shadow, this darkness that has covered the cockpit panel, has begun. It reacts almost like putting a. This is kind of obscure, but like putting a non-Newtonian fluid on a speaker and then turning the
Fantastic.
volume up.
Yeah.
Suddenly, this rapid distortion.
Well,
I'll
it
be
does
there. Just
do. It does do 1d10 damage.
this
too.
rapid distortion. Yeah. You see that it's beginning to freak out, basically, as you sort of reach your stun baton away. And you see on the display screen on the cockpit, you see that the countdown for engaging the jump drive jumps from 5 minutes to 2 minutes.
God damn it!
And it's now imploring you, engage cryopods. Engage cryopods.
What happens if we don't engage the cryopods?
I think
We
people
go too fast.
a little crazy.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Okay.
I assume people in hyperspace don't mix well. I would have to double check.
I think it's one of those things where it's I think it's based on the universe, but I know for some it's your ship's just going just too fast. You just get splatted. Where an AI can just be
I'm fine.
magnetic boots.
You just lean at the right angle, and the forces work out.
Yeah, the physics, right?
So-
as I look at the unchecked marked physics.
So what does Dekker look like?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good point.
Now that we have a moment.
I like to think he's wearing typically either a white t-shirt with this
Turn off the hell, Willie.
probably a jacket very similar to that. Probably a little bit darker, always open. Very long, medium length hair that's got it super stylized,
Like anime hair.
not so much
No?
like a half curtain that's got a lot of lift to it.
Okay.
And
I love it. No, hyper specific. Keep
Yeah.
going.
And like a set of probably I don't know what type of pants you wear. Probably I don't know, probably some jeans or something, or like space jeans.
Space jeans.
I didn't actually go over what Carina's face or anything looked like.
Yeah, I never really.
She looks like Michael Fassbender.
The female version of Michael Fassbender.
No, just Michael Fassbender in like a wig.
No, she has like freckles and strawberry blonde hair. She looks very unassuming until you realize that she's not human.
Looks like the Wendy's logo girl.
God, no. Strawberry blonde hair and freckles does not translate to the Wendy's girl.
Somebody should give me the cup.
She has bright red hair and she's like 8.
Yeah,
She's pretty young.
yeah, and then some people pay for certain androids to be built to very young specifications. I'm just saying.
That's nasty
That's-
and no.
Well,
That is a very specific and interesting moral quandary to look at.
yes.
I mean,
The
like,
answer is no.
This is the wrong game for them.
Yes.
What does Lynx Rebecca look like?
So Lynx is like 5'7". She has yellow eyes, which you're not sure if those are contacts or genetic engineering. Light brown hair, very like tan skin, that kind of like olive look to it. Very Mediterranean in that regard. Definitely a like jeans and t-shirt type of person.
Space jeans?
Regular jeans.
Ah,
Spring
okay.
for those earth
Oh,
cotton
classic
jeans.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Cotton.
vintage.
Original Levi's.
Oh, man. I bet those are your only pair.
Yes. And probably like just some like halfway up the ankle like black boots. Not combat boots, but
Still functional.
yeah, still functional. That nice in between.
Cool.
Without all that gaudy like
the bathroom is
cowboy
definitely
look.
filled with an ungodly amount of like hair product.
It's all
Of course.
yours.
It's all mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given that Karina's hair is like shoulder length and
Doesn't
just
grow.
straight.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, Lynx is probably like a shortcut. Still has some of those, like I'm sure military reminders of like, no, you keep it short, you keep it functional.
High and tight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody grab it.
Okay, so you, with your stun baton, just interacted with the cockpit unknowingly. There are 2 minutes left on the jump drive engagement counter. You know that not being in cryosleep during a jump, if you are organic, is bad news.
I assumed. Is it bad mentally, bad physically, or bad all?
All around.
Awesome.
It ain't good for you in both short-term and long-term effects.
And I'm assuming this thing is between me and the cryo bay.
Yes, it is.
Well, shooting didn't work, so I'm going to go back up the ladder, and we're going to see, believing I have 5 minutes, I'm going to try to do a workaround to get behind it without it realizing, and then try to sneak into cryo in case
Can I
things don't work out too well.
hit the intercom button? Or is the black stuff covering that?
The black stuff is covering the intercom function in the cockpit. Yes.
Remember,
There
we
is
can
one
just
in-
walk out into the hallway. And
There is
just
one in the
anywhere.
hallway outside. Yeah.
I'll punch the button and walk in the hallway.
There's always a wall.
Make me a speed check, Lynx.
Ugh, I'm not great at this, but
2 minutes till cryo sleep. 2 minutes till jump. We need to shut it down, or you two need to get in cryo sleep.
64 out of 29, so hard no.
Okay, so you turn and you try to. So you make a little bit of distance and try to shimmy up the ladder, and you find that you get about halfway up the ladder, and then you hear what sounds like a wet smack, and you suddenly feel yourself pushed against the ladder. I need you to roll a panic check for me.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
2d10.
So you're doing another stress check.
Yeah.
Okay, no, so you're doing a stress
Stress
check.
check.
So it's just 2d10, the ones, right?
We're good. 11, which is above 3.
Okay.
It's check and stress.
You relieve one stress.
Nice.
As you find that this collision, essentially, you'll take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
This collision essentially forces your face kind of bruisingly against one of the rungs of the ladder, but there doesn't seem to be any other sort of damage to you. You seem fine, you seem okay. Heart rate's a little elevated, but that's normal given the situation. You turn and you see nothing.
I'm going to do a quick look down to be like, do I have a shadow again?
No shadow.
Oh, it's still free. We're going back down. I'm going to do a hang off the ladder and look around a little bit.
Nothing on the floor.
Booking it to cryo,
Okay.
just in case.
You are inside the jump drive area. You can see all of the machinery and the terminal for manual control.
So one time you get to break everything.
You see mirrored on that manual control screen is the same sort of countdown to jump.
Yeah. And I go into the a panel that would allow if there's a panel that will allow me to do it easily before going to any actual mechanical means. So is it like a terminal near the hyperdrive?
Yeah.
That display allows me to directly interface with it.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Is it working?
Then it is working.
Okay.
Is there a big red button we can push to
No,
stop?
there's
Abort.
not.
Okay, then I will try
It's
to.
not built by Staples, people.
Damn it.
Then I will
But it's the
do
easy
my best
one.
to just elect to use that option
Okay.
with whatever codes I have that I know if needed. So,
Okay, so you enter in your normal sort of override protocols, and you see, and there's this red screen that shows that there's some kind of what says an algorithmic error.
What the?
I'll
Just
just
really quickly, going through my head. Changed it. Son of a bitch. Stupid robot. All right,
Password
so
1, 2, 3.
Do you blame everything on me?
a little bit,
I think
yeah.
he does.
Cool. Great. Fun.
Okay, so I move over to the more physical means of doing this, where the hyperdrive is, and I will whatever non-breaking way to do this. Like if there's like a valve or a shot.
You know that in order to, you'd essentially have to remove power from it.
Sure.
Is the only way to do this manually.
Right.
And the idea is to do it when it is not on.
Of course.
Because if you disengage the core to this hyperdrive right now, while it is attempting to sort of spin up into hyperspeed, quality, there could be catastrophic damage to the ship.
I hear it could.
I don't like
There
I mean,
could. Yeah.
You're saying there's a chance.
Well, those
yeah.
are his magic words.
You can do whatever you like.
Of course. All right.
Too much chaos.
Seems like I built a monster. No. Okay.
So your options are basically you can try to go back to the terminal and sort of do some kind of local, again, sort of a software kind of workaround. Or you can try to disengage the power core from the jump drive system and hope everything's okay.
Suffer the consequences.
There's about 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining.
You've still got time. Explore other options.
Okay.
You know that you need 30 seconds to get out of the jump drive system, down the hallway, and into the cryo chamber and get inside your pod.
I want to try something different instead. I don't want to
hazmat
disengage the. I don't want to disengage the hyperdrive. Hyperdrive.
Woof.
Someone's thinking about the Twi'lek.
Little Freudian slip there.
Look, Steven was joking about the porn.
I know.
Okay?
It's a joke.
I didn't. That's not. I was. Oh my god.
And it's recorded.
I know. I was on the same. Listen.
There's no undo.
I was like, listen. I'm so sorry, listeners at home. All right.
Why
Well,
we do games while our kids in bed.
okay. Well, we're going to the thrusters, and I want to.
Oh, so you want to go to the terminal and try to...
Yeah, I don't want. So what I want to do is make it so the thrusters can't jump. Like instead of
I
so
see.
Like,
Okay.
Instead of why not do something incredibly dangerous that's reassured, is rather than if I can just stop us from moving at all. Because without hyperdrive, we can still fly around why just stop all movement?
Okay, so you want to do that digitally or mechanically?
I want to do that mechanically.
Okay.
I'm hoping that will be at least, though we can't move, it may require some repairs.
You know that the thrusting system is not in this area.
Okay.
The jump drive and the like sort of the regular space thrusters are in the controls and the machinery and everything are in different areas of the ship. You could try to do it digitally from here, but if you weren't going to do that, you'd have to go over to the thruster area, which would take too long.
Okay. It's something thinking. Okay, what I want to do, alright, then running through options, is I want to redirect power away from... Now, I'm just going to recall a bunch of Star Wars things until you tell me just to not do it.
No, yeah, I mean, okay.
Okay, that's fine.
This is logical so far.
Right, so, because if I can redirect power away, or just immediately just cut power to thrusters altogether, by stressing it on some other system, maybe it won't be able to jump at all, because it doesn't have enough power.
Well, you know enough about the ship to know that if you did attempt to do that, to reroute power from the jump drive as it's building to another ship system, you could do that. It is possible. It is far less dangerous than sort of physically removing the power core from the jump drive, but you know that there is still the possibility of ship damage. In fact, the amount of power needed to activate to spin up this jump drive is a considerable amount, even in terms of powering a starship. And you know that if you do suddenly transfer that power quickly, one of the other sort of modules or systems of the ship could probably be taken out until, like, sort of permanently, until it would get fixed. It would essentially be blown out.
All right. Seeing as that's...
So choose wisely.
I was like, okay, I'll go with that option. And what I'm going to do is, assuming that it's in... hell, why not? Actually, what I'm going to do is go to a circuit panel and manually do that.
Okay, trying to manually rev up.
Seeing that, like, the computer terminal is something I'm seem to be locked out of, we're going to manually just, like...
see if you can shift the power to like a bunch of different places.
Yeah.
Power override.
So that would be intellect, and then mechanical repair would apply here.
Can you do jury rigging?
Yeah, absolutely. That jury rigging does apply.
Woo, nice.
Don't be your first critical failure.
Nice.
Not critical, but failure nonetheless. So
you did fail.
Yeah, I did fail.
So you go to this nearby circuitry panel, and you try to make the arrangements to get the power rerouted, and then there's this burst of smoke and the showering of sparks. You just move out of the way in time that your eyebrows aren't singed off, essentially. You find that there's just too much power going through the system to attempt that kind of quick reroute.
That's fine. Then I'm going to try
There's
to get
1 minute remaining.
Right. I'm going to try to get the cryo. What I'm going to do to give me more time is... What's one of the physical bad things of going into hyperspace?
Of going into hyperspace without being in a cryo chamber?
Is it like splat?
No, it's like molecular degradation. You're traveling dimensionally in a way that's like the human body was not. Most bodies weren't like meant for, right? And so your bodily processes will begin to break down. Like there will be lasting damage to you from being in hyperspace.
Sure.
Now, obviously, if you're in hyperspace for like 20 seconds, maybe you're okay. Maybe your lifespan is shortened by like a month. But if you're in hyperspace for a considerable amount of time, like you may die in process of the journey. Your organs might start failing. And so on and so forth.
Okay, I see.
A little bit is fine. Too much, bad story.
All right. So, in an effort to give me speed, I'm going to cut gravity.
Okay.
Is that something I can easily do? And will the computer?
Well, it was already in 0G.
Oh, it is. We are in 0G.
That's our default, right?
You guys were default 0G.
I wasn't sure if anything was turned on or
no, not at all.
No. Okay, then never mind. I'm just going to zip it to cryo as fast as I can. So
okay, so you're gonna sort of hurl yourself down the hallway. Speed check.
You got it.
Athletics will apply here.
Sweet 8.
8. Very good. All right. So you grab on, you exit the jump drive area, hook around to the right, and then grab some of the sort of the juncture poles and everything, and hurl yourself towards the cryo chamber unit, and you sail in just as you see Lynx settling into the unit, and then beginning the cryo sequence.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. So then strap in, I suppose.
Okay, you jump into your unit, begin sort of punching in the sequence, sort of for a manual engagement of the cryopods. What are you doing, Carina?
Putting on my hazmat suit.
Okay, so you zip up, and now you're still in the cockpit, right?
Yeah.
You see this darkness on the cockpit panel continuing to sort of writhe and jitter in front of you.
So...
You see that you have 45 seconds left before the jump.
So these tranquilizers that I have in my pistol, how would I go about deploying one of those without shooting the cockpit? Could I open one of the capsules of the tranquilizer?
Just like stab somebody with the ammo.
I mean, you could.
Without stabbing the cockpit is what I'm trying to do here.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to damage the cockpit, so I was hoping to just kind of like open the tranquilizer capsule and like pour it on the black.
That's not really. It has to
Not
be.
how that works.
It's an injection thing. So it
Drink
wouldn't-
up.
a
Slip.
You know, it doesn't have like a. I can't like inject it. so to
topical
speak, you know what I mean?
application. You know that's
Okay.
not how the tranquilizer works. It has to be like in the bloodstream or the inner body of the creature that you're trying to tranquilize.
Cool. So what I'm going to. I'm gonna touch it.
Okay.
Let's see how
My
this goes.
hazmated suit, knowing that I am an android. Let's just see what the fuck happens.
Okay. So
Because I'd like to communicate with it or see what the fuck.
you reach
What's
out to
going on?
touch it, and just as the hazmat glove sort of begins to brush the surface of this jittering blackness, I need you to make a speed check.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. 4.
4. Very good. So you, with what can be described as only an android's speed, move your hand back out of the way, and you see this large spike essentially reach out of the darkness towards you and then retreat just as fast into the body.
What do you want?
Scene from the Notebook. What do you want?
This is
It's like
another
I'm
ring.
talking to a black blob on my fucking.
30 seconds to jump.
Okay. I mean, I'll be fine in the jump. But I
I'm
just
just
don't know
letting
where
you
the fuck we're going. Can I see on the screens where we've locked onto?
No.
And if I try to touch the buttons underneath the blackness, it will.
Probably try to murder you.
Murderize.
So I will head back down to cryo sleep and check and make sure no blackness is on my friends. There's not much I can do to stop the hyper.
Racist.
There's
Why
not
can't
much I
there be
can.
blackness on your friend? What's wrong with that?
Because we're both white. And that would be really bad if we tried to do
Well,
that.
sure. Yeah.
It would be. We don't want to do space blackface.
But you're not white. Your
Uh.
your character's
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean, yeah.
That's still fairly white.
Still not African. Not black.
That's true.
African American.
but farther down the spectrum.
We don't want to have blackface. Okay. God,
So you make your way down the ladder, head your way into the cryo chamber. You see that both Lynx and Dekker are locked in, and their cryopods have already engaged.
no sign of any.
A quick scan of the room does not show any sort of blackness.
Okay, I'll pick up the SMG again and
Yep.
strap it to my back.
Okay.
Sitting in the locker.
And then I will head to. I'll head to engineering and see if I can make something happen.
Okay. What are you going to do in engineer?
Well, I don't know what Dekker's done, so I will first do a computer check to see if I can disengage hyperdrive first.
Okay. You use the standard
Can I use
protocols. Hold on. You use the standard protocols. You see that you can't get in. You can try to hack the system or try to override by, like, local side.
I failed that one. It's 59. Okay.
You're locked out of the terminal for some reason.
God damn it.
Did you try 3 times?
You gotta do it twice and then let it
We're communicating.
Did I get locked out?
Pod, like,
Did I try a wrong password too many times? So what else are my options
Because we're freezing.
here to try to... I heard you explain it all to Nick. So I'm going to assume that my androidness probably knows that stuff. Like about how to not fuck up the hyperdrive.
I mean, you've got some basic sort of safety protocols, and
Yeah.
you're an intelligent being, so you're like...
it comes back to a flashback, and whatever you do, you don't do this.
I guess I better do this.
In the moment, all right, I gotta go do this.
So could I attempt to manually start adjusting the power levels?
Before you can, the ship lurches
So
forward.
I thought I wouldn't get there.
You
in time.
find that you are
There just wasn't enough
traveling
time to do it.
in hyperspace.
Yeah.
All right, I
This
will.
wasn't enough time.
I will alternate between checking on the cockpit to see where the fuck we are, if I can tell that, and checking on them in cryosleep. While I'll basically just be patrolling the ship, looking for the shadows, and checking on them in cryosleep, and just trying to be aware of what the fuck is going on, because there's no way for me to stop it.
You spend the next 48 hours
Okay.
patrolling the ship,
I'm an android. I'm gonna
taking
sleep.
a look
It's
at the
fine.
cryo chamber,
It's time.
that engineering,
It's a human
I mean,
construct.
I searched the whole
doing a
ship,
full
yeah.
sort of, You find that, other than your obvious lack of a shadow, everything seems to be fine.
Do I see the weird feast room that he did?
You see a normal galley, seems to be empty. The standard sort of plastisteel chairs and small tables and bits of, cabinets and so on.
Are you still in cryo with your bus?
Look at my bus. Yeah.
Does he have the bust in his cryo?
It's not going to allow you to have that in there.
no,
It would have
it's
aired
too
you out.
So do I
yeah.
see a weird fucking
'Cause
bust
it's a
on
weird,
the floor
like,
next to his...
foreign matter.
It's like
You see a
toss
bus
it like
nearby.
it's circling in front of my.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
floating
I will
through
just
that
roll my eyes and go... Must have had
You
that
make
one.
your way back. The first time you make your way back up to the cockpit, you notice that the cockpit control panel is completely clean. No lick of darkness anywhere.
All right, so I will take off my hazmat suit,
Okay.
pack that stuff back up,
Pack that bad boy up.
and... Oh, I guess I'm an android, so I actually don't have to write things down. I can just memorize
You just know them.
And
High,
I will...
eidetic memory.
Useful.
I will quite honestly begin to think, research, and try to figure out things both about the Iapetus Limited
Iapetus Limited.
Iapetus
the
Limited company,
Yeah.
and also try to think of anything that would fit even sort of this definition. Not even with my own limited capacities, but with whatever we have on board to help aid me in researching this.
Okay, so give me an intellect check. Add your computers to that,
Okay.
and then add another 5 points because you're utilizing the ship's computer systems.
Okay, so at computers, so 49, and then another 5, you said?
Yes.
So 54. Are you shitting me right now? I got a 99.
I said with advantage, didn't I?
Oh, no, you
Okay.
didn't.
Oh, thank God.
Thank Christ.
I'm sorry, I must not have mentioned that. Yes,
Good,
with
because
advantage.
this is a 99.
Well, you have so much time, and you're utilizing the ship's computers.
75.
At least it's not 99.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you find that a lot the computer's systems you're locked out of essentially everything but the most basic of tasks. Keeping an eye on telemetry and
Yeah.
some basic analysis functions. Everything seems to have been sort of hard locked, and now you are simply along for the ride.
Okay. Well, with the patience only an android can have, I will patrol and wait.
Okay. 48 hours pass, and suddenly there's lurching out of hyperspace.
Can I see where we are?
Yes, the cockpit display is clear. I mean, you were able to see the hyperspace distortion, and now you see more sort of... You see what is, for the most part, empty space, but floating in front of you, about, several 100 meters away, is what looks like a derelict vessel. Tilting off to the side, sort of spinning very slowly on what looks like a horizontal axis. You see what looks like a relatively a sizable vessel, not as big as a frigate, but something along the lines of, say, some kind of exploratory vessel. You see that it appears to be simply sort of drifting here. You don't seem to see any sort of exterior lighting or power indication. You also see, were you able to see the same call that he made?
I was. I was right beside. Right.
You
right
see the same logo that Dr. Anted had on his patch. A sort of a gear with two, and all of this is very geometric rather than organic. A gear and then two folded, what look like hands, and then what looks like a pyramid nestled in between them. And you recognize that as from Dr. Anted's patch of being the symbol of the Iapetus Limited Corporation. Sort of stenciled on the side of the ship.
I will stare at it with a completely android blank look on my face for several seconds, and then sprint down the hallway to cryosleep. And I will wake up Lynx and tell her...
Well, already the cryosleep pods are disengaging as per protocol.
And as you're vomiting, I
just throw up.
Body check. Yep. How are we doing?
You still don't have any bonus.
Disadvantage.
89. So no.
So you fail?
Yes.
Okay. So you vomit. You use all of the buckets.
Ah, this is what I remember.
I throw up that big meal on her.
I have time. I get the fuck out of the way.
So you have to step out of the way before this is a big sloshing.
I imagine I'm talking and he starts to throw up and I just sidestep.
Sidestep. Disengage and pass.
And
This is floating there.
No, we leave gravity on in the cryo chamber for this reason.
For this
particular.
yeah.
You don't want to clean that mess up.
honestly, I think I'll just simply say as soon as you are done as soon as you're done vomiting, I'll just say we're at the Alexis.
There's no way. I gotta see this. And I'll BDU's over the shoulder, but yeah, skivvies on and just go to check.
I'll follow you, and before I leave the cryosleep chamber, I'll toss back over my shoulder. You're cleaning that up.
I'll get to it. So I'm just walking naked, just down the bridge.
As you're kind of adjusting to the light and to consciousness, you feel this kind of thudding against your forehead, and you see floating in space is that bust, that marble bust of you.
Oh.
Have that.
Carina, why'd you make these?
Stop, Duran. What?
Yeah, the creepy statue of all of us. They were in the mess hall.
There's nothing in the mess hall.
This was in the mess hall.
There's nothing.
It's same with that plate I got. We not see the plate. I also grabbed the plate.
Fragments of the
plate would have
plate.
probably would. No,
The plate was destroyed in the hallway.
No, there was earlier. Sorry.
You cleaned that up, by the way, during your rounds, because it was a danger, it was a hazard floating out there in the hallway.
I will squint at you.
Yes, it was when I was going to go grab food, and it was placed alongside that feast that giant selection of food you made. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's probably spent a pretty penny on it, but I was happy. So, but I wish I would have gotten orange juice.
Were you drunk?
I don't drink.
How do you know?
Not on the job. or really ever, but only that one time on Alexis 3.
I will squint at you for a second more. Step out of your way and go, show me then.
Yeah, sure, why not? As I saunter naked to the mess hall.
I am unfazed by your human parts. I'm whatever.
You are
unfortunate.
You and Lynx make your way into the hallway from the cryo chamber, very delicately walking over large puddles of vomit.
Yeah.
Only his. Hers are in buckets.
Well,
Will place.
it goes over the bucket. Can't really stay in the bucket.
Especially when it's 3 buckets.
It's 3 buckets.
Is it like when you pour... Never mind.
So the lot of you make your way back to the cockpit, and sure enough, the two of you see what Carina was talking about. This floating vessel, adrift in space.
Yeah, that's the ship.
I'll be damned.
Lynx,
Yeah.
the naked one says that there was a feast in the galley. There's no feast in the galley.
I didn't prep anything.
Well, I know you didn't because we went to bed at the same time. I just assumed it was you after the first jump.
I patrolled this entire vessel the entire time you were asleep.
You didn't make any food?
There's no food. I don't eat.
Well, I figured you would have made it for us. Because you're just... Never mind. That was...
Yeah,
No, I didn't
yeah.
think about that.
Us.
Mechanical chuckling.
Ha ha ha.
Please, lead the way to the galley.
Yeah, sure. All right. So I go to the galley.
Okay, so a lot of you go to the lift, make your way down to the lower deck, back to the lower deck, head into the galley, and sure enough, to your surprise, the place is empty. It is as it normally is, with no ornate Baroque table and no feast.
I will pull out my...
Sanity check, please.
And then I'll pull out my med scanner and start... Open your eyes and stare at your pupils.
We've scientifically proven that you were wrong.
Oh, no. I do not succeed on this one.
Okay, take 1 stress as the realization suddenly pours over you. Okay, well, unless one of 2 things has happened. Either that was a phantom feast, or your unnatural ass android is actively lying to you.
Yeah, which is also...
Both of which are very uncomfortable thoughts.
I am scanning him with my med scanner, checking for any signs of trauma or drug use.
You find that other than the usual signs of trauma and drug use, there's nothing unusual.
Dehydration from the vomiting. Yeah,
that's right.
that all checks.
You appear to be as
A little bit of PCP.
you appear to be as healthy as you normally are.
A soupçon of PCP.
Okay. As I'm now waking up. When I woke up, I went into here. There was this nice table set up with this beautiful wooden table with a bunch of really nice food on it, and I ate it, and it was very tasty. And then after
Look, Dekker, I get that you like to daydream.
No,
but
this is not.
This is a little too far.
No, I'm telling you, this is like
We were in a life or death situation, and you want to try to convince us you were having
I'm going to
of
a
all the
hero's
things,
feast.
of
take
all-
the bust from you and examine it. Can I tell what it's made of?
Yeah, you can tell that's clearly marble.
Of all the things we just saw, you're going to tell me what I'm saying is the most ridiculous. It's super ridiculous. I'm telling you, there was something.
As you're examining it, it appears to have been not the shaping of it, the carving of it. It appears to have been machined rather than manually hand carved. Yeah,
This was made in a machine.
You're a machine.
or by a tool.
You're a tool.
Oh!
Just
I don't mean that.
You hear?
I have my own explanation.
dead stare.
You hear Mother over the comm. Oh snap! D'un gâteau.
Where did you get this?
It was. Thanks.
He's losing
That
it.
was good. That was funny.
He's losing it.
It's getting too late. Okay, so
That
when I
insult
was
was lit fast.
like this. Okay. So
Look, the things that were attacking us were shadows. They were our shadows. That makes sense. That came from something. You're telling me those shadows got some, what is that, like granite?
Marble.
From marble from nowhere?
it's not mine.
Carved it
It's
and left it here?
I mean,
They didn't carve it, a machine did.
I didn't. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm
Okay.
not.
I don't think we have any machines capable of doing that, right?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm like,
Hand it to you. Shoot it.
I'm vain.
Happily.
A small thing in,
Oh no!
in somewhere.
The only statue of me that'll ever be made.
Maybe not here, but
In the ego. Well, this is probably the best place
Cargo
out of
bay.
all the places. Oh, cargo bay.
cargo
Yeah.
bay.
Cargo bay.
We'll go to Cargo Bay.
I will stop and like agonizingly slowly look you up and down and go, I thought humans got cold.
Whoa. Dang.
Oh shit! About to have some real shots fired along with those metaphorical shots.
As I like sit here with my hands on my hips,
That
feeling the breeze between my knees as we watch. So we're about to fire.
that episode of Serenity.
As Lynx and I walk to the cargo bay, leaving your sassy self by yourself.
Do you follow to the cargo
I
bay?
do in a very
So it's-
brooding manner. But
It's going to be a very like brazen walking into the 0G Cargo Bay. Literally like toss it in front.
Oh, sure, like
Show
speed
off.
and
shoot.
then just and then just try to speed shoot.
Okay, give me a combat check with advantage. Firearms applies here, obviously.
I mean,
chance.
you're showing off a little, right?
Just a little, yeah. It's a little personal gratification in there too. Ooh, it's gonna be close. Thank God for that plus 15. Yes, barely just.
damn it.
Okay, so because it's in 0G and you've just woken up from cryo sleep, you're a little rusty. You find that your barrel drifts just slightly more than you wanted to, but the discharge of bullets, at least two of them, crack open the side of this bust, and you can see, sure enough, there's a shearing of mineral powder as a large portion of the bust is blown off.
My beautiful face. Not always.
And it begins to like spin with increased speed out into the air inside the cargo bay.
Well, I'm surprised that you guys in there. There were also two of your guys' faces as well.
Where?
They were. I'm telling you, back to the apparently
Oh, right,
phantom
at the
table.
wooden table with the food.
Oh,
I will push off and go grab the bust pieces out.
So
I
you
didn't buy
push off the
this.
floor and you are heading towards the.
You're telling me.
You're heading towards
You
the
walk
bust
into a
pieces.
shop and you see a perfectly manufactured bust of yourself. You're not going to buy it?
Well, to be fair, normally we don't have the money for that type of thing.
The two of you are having a conversation. Suddenly, the lights go out, and you hear a boom noise.
Oh, God damn it.
You suddenly feel the sensation of hurtling to the floor.
Yeah.
I need you to make a body check, body save.
Not good.
I'm gonna grab clothes.
Actually, make an armor save, please.
Where's my armor save?
25.
Just below your body save.
Hmm?
Your armor save is just below your body save.
I like
Do
my
the,
body
uh,
save better.
Too bad.
Standard battle dress add anything to that?
No,
Or is it just...
no.
No, standard battle dress is like a 0.
No, 51.
51.
25.
Okay, so you fall.
I mean, a fucking android, right? I should be fine.
Well,
Some internal bruising, but it's not like you bleed out, so there's no worries there. Just have to, like, get out the duct tape or the...
Unless you allow me to add my athletics to try to tuck and roll and make my fall not so shitty.
oh,
Although it still only makes it 51 of 35, I guess. So
you take 4 damage.
okay.
As you pang against the floor. A lot of you in the darkness hear this metal sound, clang, and you also hear what sounds like the remainder of the bust shattering on the floor. As you realize suddenly the gravity kicked in and the lights are off. It seems like the power went out, but the gravity is on.
Can
we're
we
being
just assume
boarded.
that we have some goddamn flashlights of some sort?
Not necessarily on you, but like accessible nearby, yeah.
I have a body cam. Would that come with a light?
We're gonna make some found footage horror.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, conceivably, yeah.
Okay,
And
we'll
it's caught me in all my glory.
tap that on.
So you see the light; it's illuminating this circular, this cone shape inside the the cargo bay, and you see, sure enough, it looks like the power's out. All the cargo's still here. But sure enough, there's a pulverized bust, and Carina sort of righting herself, getting off of the floor.
The camera pans towards me. It's just like looking around. I'm like ready for my scene. So I just put my hands on my hips and like I wink towards
So
the camera.
you turn and you see illuminated Dekker's naked frame standing there in the.
Say like hands on hips, like tossing a wink towards the camera.
Stow it, Dekker. I've seen better at boot camp.
There's a smile turns to a quick frown. But we need. But seriously, we need to go.
Yeah,
figure
this
out.
this looks like we're being boarded. Pay attention for
Yeah.
any echoes. I'll get you some pants.
Yeah, I'll go grab
Take
my
my
gear.
tranquilizer pistol and
I'll grab
stun
my
the
gear.
baton.
Do androids see in the dark? Question.
Yep.
So I can see.
Yeah, some like
Cool,
Nice.
great, cool.
some cool
So I'm gonna head
little vision photoreceptors or something.
Yeah.
to the cockpit first.
Okay, so you make your way up the lift. Well, the lift doesn't work. You make your way up the ladder, and back your way into the cockpit. And sure enough, the cockpit, both the display is off, and the control panel is not illuminated whatsoever. It seems to be, sure enough, lacking power.
Mother?
No response.
Thought she worked even if the power was
The
off.
ship
Damn.
was the big ship was turning, correct?
Yes, it was slowly rotating, sort of its nose first, back up, rotating.
Centrifugal force. We have attached ourselves probably to the ship.
Have
How?
we? And can we see out the window?
No, the ship is several hundred meters in front of you.
Are
Like,
we turning in a way?
No. Well, you can't see outside now because the digital display is actually shut down.
Right.
But the last thing that you saw was a static view of this thing slowly rotating.
How would I go back turning the power back on?
You would have to go down to the
Engineering.
engineering essentially and try to kickstart the system.
Let's head down there, figure out what's going on.
Can we grab gear?
Right.
Yeah, you can stop by Cryo and get some
Oh, sweet.
pants.
Right. Also,
Just
So I
one.
haven't put my gear down.
Yeah, we
so-
got one.
I was like, do you have?
Oh,
do you-
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So
Okay.
get all
Engineering.
my engineering gear.
Go. I'm gonna hurry. I'm not gonna
A bit of a
leisurely do
quickness.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
utility
brisk
belt,
jog.
vest,
Suit up
pomade.
scene.
It's just like it's one of those like quick cut montages.
Yeah.
Your hot fuzz montage.
Okay, so you head down to the engineering, tracing you Lynx leading the way with your flashlight, illuminating the dark corridors. It's suddenly very cold in here as you notice that the temperature control is off. The life support is probably off as well. The oxygen is limited. You got it for a while. You don't have to worry about it right now, but you know it'll be a concern.
Matter
Going.
of time.
There'll be some hours, but it will be some hours.
So you make your way to the door for engineering, punch in the code, and you see as you look
That
in
works.
that it was a manual sort of disengage.
Like a mag lock.
literally like mag locking. it
Locking
open.
it.
Okay. And you see that the engineering room is upside down.
What the hell is going on here?
Well, I don't know.
Where
I guess
did
it's,
that jump take us?
man, looking at it now, this can't be right. Like
You
it's
were
like-
right side up in the hallway, and you were sort of tucking your head in. Yeah, it's
man,
upside down.
it's almost it's like there could be a table in here with some busts on it. As I just stand there, hand on hip, hand out.
Look, you can't
I
create matter.
completely ignore Dekker. Look out in the hallway.
I need everyone to make sanity checks.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, rationalizations.
That's-
Does my joke save me?
You do with advantage. Yeah, you're trying to rationalize with humor.
That's no.
21.
You take one stress if you fail.
Sick, nasty. 7.
All right. Yeah, like like Lynx.
I imagine it's not the actual situation stressing me out. It's just Dekker.
No, that's fair.
Well, it's both. Your
I'm a very
logic
rational
system is
building,
not really.
built being, yeah.
Yeah.
This is impossible.
So I will look in the hallway. Everything looks the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
I will look back in the engineering room.
It's all upside down.
I'll
Everything
step
appears to
in.
be accounted for, all the machinery and everything, all the terminals, but the whole thing's upside down.
I go do the like a power terminal. So I jump up to it.
Okay, so yeah, you're still in the 0G.
Ceiling press.
You.
Oh,
I
actually,
thought
guess
gravity
there's
was
no-
turned on.
Right, I guess
The
there's
gravity's
no-
on. Yes, I'm sorry.
Then I will. Ooh, is there the ladder that goes to the second floor? Is there a logical way for me to like use a ladder to get to any of that? I'm trying really difficult for me to.
Yes. Yeah, you could then walk over to use the ladder to get up to that would normally take you to the sort of the how much it cockpit the walkway, right?
Is there a
Catwalk.
door? Is
the catwalk?
Door, is the door to engineering on the second?
No, it's on the first floor.
It's on the first. Okay, so
So you essentially grab a hold of the ladder and like climb up towards the floor.
right.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
So
You're standing on the bottom of the catwalk.
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So you make your way up and very disoriented. You make your
Right.
way there and you are now sort of upside down looking at the upside down terminal.
I will follow and step on. Move.
I'm working on it.
Step over next to him.
I'm gonna
Okay,
try to
you
find...
see that this terminal is black. Doesn't appear to be responding.
Okay, it's black. Okay.
Manually.
Yeah. Or
Okay, so you ratchet on a
Yeah, like almost like you
nearby
flip a circuit
mechanical
breaker, like,
switch. Yeah. So there's a brief like.
I check.
Terminal's still black.
I check batteries.
Yeah,
Or like
power
our,
source.
like
There's
power
a,
source.
like a nearby power cell, like a
Yeah.
the external kind of battery power. You go over there and look at the unit. Well, it appears to be fine from the outside, except you're getting this overwhelming smell of slag.
Would my cybernetic diagnostic scanner be able to tell us something? I don't
No,
really
because
know
it's
what
not
cybernetic
cybernetics.
is. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna go over to the gravity controls.
I turn on. I put on my infrared goggles to see if there's well, I guess it's not infrared. I wish I had thermal, but that's fine. Oh, I have mag boots.
Hey,
That's easy. This
Oh, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, just stick your feet up to the ceiling.
So you're going to go over to the gravity control section? Okay, you make your way over there, sure enough. Okay, well, what you expected to be a blacked out terminal, this one's active. You see, it is displaying a distorted version of the sort of the dashboard screen for the manual gravity control. There's all kinds of shearing and digital glitching going on.
some Doki Doki Electric Club stuff. Okay. So
Let's see if we can like mechanically override it, manually override it, since the digital display doesn't seem to be working, to turn gravity off.
Okay.
Give a quick. I'm gonna see if I can turn the gravity off, make moving around a bit easier.
Sounds good.
Intellect, mechanical repair. Do so with disadvantage.
Oof. This is gonna be
Because you're upside down.
plus 10, so 38 or lower. Nope. With a 86.
No critical fail or anything?
No critical
Okay.
fail, yeah.
So you try to open up the panel, and because you're upside down, your expected sort of workflow is all messed up. You find that you just can't seem to rejigger the system without either severely damaging the gravity control or disabling it all altogether. So you wouldn't be able to use it until you got back to some kind of technical
let
document.
me try giving it once over. With my mag boots, I just follow around the outside of it.
As you finish and sort of close the panel up and sort of wipe your hands of the whole situation, you see that the display panel for the gravity control has changed.
What does it look like now?
It is a sort of a dark, almost like a maroon sort of color, covering the entire screen. and in what looks like white text, there's English, like English words there. It says, "I am the silence that is incomprehensible."
Guys, we need to get out of here pretty quick. What do we need to get this thing working? What have you found?
Sanity check, please.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Actually, make a fear check.
That's fair.
Sorry, disadvantage. I'm here.
Yeah, and you will be disadvantaged because the
Well-
android's here.
I already rolled a 33 out of 30, so I don't think I need a second roll.
Oh, crit fail, crit fail.
Yeah.
Very nice. Make a panic check, please.
Oh.
So sorry.
So
Are we throwing anything onto stress before then, or are we just rolling against a 2?
add 1 to stress and then make a panic check.
So rolling against a 3, which isn't that bad. Yeah, we're fine. There's a 10 and a 4.
Okay, you kind of swallow this stress down as you're like, that shouldn't be there.
Nope.
Definitely is a no. Definitely
Well,
a no.
We don't. The problem
Resist
is
shooting the screen.
our power source has been fried. We would
So
need.
we're
Except
gonna need
for
another one?
this particular
Except for-
terminal, which is on.
I don't think it's fried. I think it's being controlled.
By slag, did you mean like something burnt?
Like molten metal.
Okay,
Mm,
I
yeah.
think
Good plasma
I think
too.
this thing is getting power remotely from something else, and I couldn't tell you what. Because
You mean maybe the ship floating out in front of us without any power or discernible force on?
well, or perhaps whatever that shadow creature was, it may have some type of electrical properties, and it might be inhabiting the computer. But that's just my first guess.
What's your second guess?
That it's somehow
Can I-
don't know.
Can I just do a pure intellect check for a fucking idea of what to go, where to go from here?
We need a new power source, or take that as I point out in the direction of the ship.
6.
Nice.
Because
Well,
my android is
Trump, Trump.
smarter about this stuff than I will ever be.
you realize that there's probably little you can do here on the Velvet Gold Mine.
Yeah.
You realize that this happened when you jumped out of hyperspace
Yep.
and arrived within what you know is sort of censoring and hailing distance from the Alexis.
But all our power's gone, so I can't reach out to them.
You can't reach out to them in comms.
Yeah.
Whatever jumped probably fried our power supply.
Well, so
What if they've got a working?
You
power
have
supply?
spacesuits.
That could work.
we just gotta float our way over
You
there?
could head over to the Alexis.
Most
Does it have any sort of EVA control?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
No.
I was gonna say,
Otherwise, that's a
We're
hard
not
no.
just going to push off the
Yeah.
ship and
Let's
just
just say, then we're gonna
totally
die,
got life
man.
forever.
Yeah.
No, I
that's-
mean you
that's
have
the
like
worry.
the jets or something.
Okay.
like
some
control
auto
it.
thrusters
Yeah.
on your.
I need to go to the other ship.
Yeah. As much as I don't like the idea, we're not getting anything over here.
Also, oxygen is limited.
Not a problem for you, but suppose we should work fast.
So if we can grab some spare parts, I could probably replace what's damaged on here.
Sounds like a plan.
All right,
Let's do
EVA
it.
suits. This probably won't be fun as the last time we did this.
So you make your way to the airlock. You suit up in your vac suits, your vacuum suits, and you are ready for spacewalking or space drifting or space flying, whichever you prefer.
So, Space Coast. Space Chill.
Space Ghost.
Coast
On your mark, pilot. Are you ready to open up the airlock? Okay. And so a lot of you drift out and circle your way around the ship
We're all connected by a rope.
and begin slowly,
Always.
powering towards
Yeah.
the drifting Alexis. As you approach, you see that it looks like there are two easy ways in, short of trying to breach the hull, essentially,
Right.
with not an acetylene torch, but essentially a
Well, I have
laser
my
cutter or
torch,
something.
yeah.
Laser cutter.
Yeah.
So, have my
You realize that you can probably try to open the dorsal airlock, or there is usually a larger airlock in the hold that they use for sort of
Supply,
transferring supplies and large equipment and things like that. Either one of those things would probably get you immediate access. They'd certainly be easier to try to digitally or physically manipulate to open.
I'd say let's try the dorsal.
Dorsal airlock obviously being the easiest way. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
it's
think
meant
so.
for that.
Yeah, let's do that.
that's the easiest way. Granted, the supply probably is closer to anything we need.
Well, I mean, if we stumble across a manifest, we may also want to add some items. They didn't say anything about.
Oh, Lynx, I am the prize.
Hey, if they're not using it,
Your hyper focus is what keeps us alive. As we head towards the ship.
want to get paid.
All right, let's go to the dorsal.
Mm-hmm. See if we can try, I guess, hacking it first. If
Okay.
there's any response.
You can give me a intellect computers check.
21,
Working
Out of what?
magic.
49.
Okay,
Nice.
it's a success.
Yeah.
Because so the numbers themselves don't mean much unless they're doubles to me. You know,
I'm
I just
sorry.
need to know if you
Okay, I
succeed
just want
or
to make sure
fail.
that wasn't like a critical failure. Or something.
It's only doubles.
Okay, cool.
If it's doubles and you fail, it's a critical fail. If it's doubles
Okay.
and you succeed, it's a critical
Well, I
success.
succeeded.
Okay. So you are able to access the small external panel and punch in an override code. Sure enough.
Oh.
And you see inside the dark interior, the dark plastisteel corridor of the interior of the ship.
What do I see?
You see nothing. The lights are out.
I can see in the dark, right?
Okay, well you see it's like a grayscale, empty hallway essentially. You float in. Okay,
Yeah. There we go.
make your way inside. To the left, you see what looks like another airlocked door, but an internal airlock this time. Right. You look to the right, and you see what looks like that's another airlock, and then a hallway sort of branching out and going further past along the back of the ship. You see there is a large ventilation grate in front of you, embedded in the wall across from you.
So we need to close the airlock behind us and open the one in front of us, right?
Well, you need to close the airlock behind you, and then after that, you're free to wander the hallway.
I'll do that. Close the
Okay.
airlock.
Yeah. Everybody in?
So there you are, still floating in 0G.
Mm-hmm. I know it's probably not going to work, but can we see if we can cycle air in here?
Is there a way for me to try to do that?
There's a nearby panel along the wall that is just a general access terminal. Yeah.
Okay. Try.
Okay. You punch that in. Okay. It's clearly in a low power mode. It says as much on the on the display, and your attempts to get the air cycling portion of the life support system online, you are repeatedly getting an error that there's simply not enough power.
Can I check and see how much air is in the ship
Yes.
on the screen? I will do
So you
that.
punch in. There are about 2 days worth of air in here.
2 days worth. If you'd like to save your suits for later.
It's a
Sounds like a good idea.
surprising amount of air.
It's big shit.
Now the temperature control
It
is
was
on
here before
either,
us.
so
Yeah.
either way, you probably need to keep your hazmat suits on
Hmm.
just for comfort's sake, really, because it'll be
Don't know
super
what's
cold
here.
in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's enough air in there. Seems like the oxygen is slowly dissipating, but
Could they at least take their helmets off and conserve the oxygen?
Yes.
And turn the oxygen off for now and
Mhm.
conserve it?
I think I'm going to keep it going for a bit. Till we at least figure out what's up with the crew.
I mean, I can take out my, I don't know if I could take out my med scanner and scan the air quality or not. Does it say anything about the air quality on the screen?
air quality is normal.
Okay.
Yeah, and
The oxygen is slowly dissipating
Depleting,
on us,
but
depleting. Yeah.
It's
Is there
not
anything like any current like crew-wide warning like warning signs like?
Other than a warning about the low power mode being engaged,
Okay.
to sort of.
So there's nothing like okay, well, it looks like the ship is decently intact, or else it would probably be like engine failure or hull breach. So it doesn't look like the pressure is compromised. So that's good.
So what were our exits from here?
one to the right and one right in front of us. Right?
Let's go for right,
Yeah.
and then just kind of like skirt the outside of the ship and get a good feel for it.
That's a good idea.
So you head off to the right. You see that there's another sort of internal airlock in front of you. Branches off to the right and takes another 90-degree angle. You see that down this hallway there's what looks like another airlock set into the wall on the left, probably leading to the same place that first airlock did that you passed by. There's one on the right-hand side, and then there's one all the way at the end of the hallway.
Room by room
Definitely. Crew could be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
or nowhere.
They gotta go somewhere, right? If it's not here, then it's
Without
somewhere out
analyzing
there.
the map too much, I'm trying not to like pay attention to what's there. But can you show us like kind of like roughly?
You're there,
Okay.
and you see
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So just
Long hallway.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, first airlock we come to on the right.
okay.
Right hand rule.
Yeah. Right.
So you try to open it up. The lock isn't disengaging.
I wonder if we're gonna get this across the whole thing. I can start opening doors manually, but it's up to you.
We gotta find the crew. Go for it.
Okay, you're going to try to cut this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're gonna cut it, hold a second. I'll try to like manually override the hydraulics or something.
You can do a strength check. Yeah.
Okay. Strength might actually work.
Do you want a crowbar?
You can add athletics or whatever. If you're using a tool, you can take advantage on that as well.
Yeah, I'll take the crowbar. That's 79. Well, not much better. 60 out of 38.
Okay.
So
Now the crowbar's just not giving you enough torque. This is not
Take it
happening.
back and collapse it.
it's too short. You have a collapsible crowbar?
It's pretty cool.
It's
Future.
all the
It
rage.
has no structural. No wonder why it didn't work.
It's not like cock and eyebrow.
I'll knock on the door.
Tung, tung, tung.
All right, cut away.
I'm gonna go check the door at the end of the hall while he cuts.
So you begin cutting. It's going to take a little bit.
That's fine. We spend
Gonna-
no time.
Ready the SMG.
I'll check the door at the end of the hall. That one also locked.
That door is also locked.
So, could I try to override it with the computer, or all the computer systems are down, right?
Not all the computer systems. You saw there was the one terminal in the hallway that was active.
So, can I try to override it with the computer system?
There is not a terminal in this part of the hallway.
Okay. So it's just a regular old lock
Well, it's
for spaceship.
It's been sealed essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
So you would have to manually disengage, like Lynx was trying to do, or essentially cut your way through it.
You got that android strength, right?
I mean, you could.
Okay. I will take the crowbar
Okay.
for advantage.
With advantage.
Extend it.
Strength check. Critical failure?
No.
Just failure.
It's
Okay.
just a bad crowbar.
It's a really bad crowbar.
This thing was just not engineered properly.
I'm
There's
not.
no way this was gonna
I
work.
am not built to break things. I am meant to analyze things, or stun things.
Okay. Are there any other doors on this hallway?
Yes, there was the one that was leading sort of into the left-hand side.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
try.
yeah.
That looked
quick
like
check.
it was leading into a room that had two doors attached to it because there was one that you passed by and forked around.
All right, let's try that one while
Yeah.
he's cutting the door.
Also, it is like essentially across from the door that Dekker's cutting into, and then slightly off further down the hall.
Okay.
So you approach there, you come back the way you came there. The door's sealed too.
Should we try it together?
Sure.
How do
Okay.
we do that? How do I assist Lynx?
Okay. So with assisting him, it would be giving Lynx advantage.
Okay. So we'll just be rolling the same.
I said, how can I assist her?
Did you?
Yeah, I sure did.
We'll have to roll back the tapes. Yay, there we go. On both of them, too. 15.
Very good. Okay. So you metaphorically spit in your hands. And you're able to open this up. As you're stepping into this area, you see that, okay, this is the cargo hold. Immediately you see this large, what looks like an earth mover with wheels. You see several other sort of conventional terrain management stuff, cranes, skeleton walkers, dump truck
You guys
in
recycle,
here.
right? Okay, I put the bottles like on the counter.
You see to the side crates that look like they have been with simple stencil labeling talking about parkas, vac suits, mag boots, etc., etc. But that's not the most peculiar thing.
Mm-hmm.
You see, in the middle of the hold,
With a shaft of light from the ceiling.
this grotesque-looking statue. 3 feet wide by 5 feet high. About 2 feet thick, it looks like. It's the statue of these twisted, multiple-jointed limbs entwined with what look like screaming humanoid faces. And those humanoid faces have multiple eyes. Way too many eyes per face.
Oh,
I'm assuming we have to make a sanity check.
It looks like it's made out of a dark metal. It's hard to tell from here. You also see, kneeling around the statue,
Oh, shit.
are 6 human figures
Mm-hmm.
with their foreheads placed against the statue.
You were busy
Yeah.
welding a
oh,
door.
you guys
Yep.
were done.
All of a
Come on
sudden,
there.
all of a sudden, you'll feel my hands come across your mouth and start to pull you backwards. And I will take the torch and turn you around and go.
I need everyone to make a fear check.
And we will show you that
I'm
which was
sorry,
not
you
meant
have
to
to
be
make it a
seen.
disadvantage.
Make it a
because I'm in the
disadvantage
room.
because of the
It could be
android.
good.
Oh,
That does.
all right.
Oh, so close.
Well, actually, hold on,
Eight
let me
off.
see. That may not be. Okay, so
No.
I rolled a
What's-
67 and still
what do
passed.
you?
Wow.
So,
oh, right. Yeah, the
so I
ridiculous.
got so I got 30 and a 33.
Mhm.
What takes precedence?
The
Is
higher.
it the higher number because it's the
Yes.
Well,
worst.
if you have advantage, it's
the lower.
Disadvantage.
the
Well,
lower.
And in this case, since we have a disadvantage,
I just what I'm saying.
No, actually, it
Yeah.
would be the higher, technically.
That's
Yeah.
what I was wondering. So
Yeah.
the higher is
So
the
that's
33.
that's
Yeah.
the critical
That's-
failure.
No, it's a critical. No, it's a critical success. I
Because
made
this
it.
saves a
Oh,
35.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
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 I passed.
So I'm the only one who
passed.
failed it then. With the 38.
And after I tell you to shush, I'll take my hand off your mouth.
Well, it simply says use
Wipe
the
it on
worst. It uses the worst result. So
okay. So it is not.
in
the
this
33.
case, it'll be just a regular success because that's the worst result.
I take it and start in my head. I'm like,
So you succeeded,
good
but
cultist, not black sludge. Okay.
did you fail?
Yes.
Take 1 stress.
Oh, that's fair.
I will
Just-
lean over to Lynx and go, shoot the statue.
I got a better idea. Gonna go for the pocket and pull out 2 grenades, and then 2
Throwing them
more.
in 0-0 G, huh?
Yeah.
In a cargo hold
Yeah.
in space.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will just start pushing on Dekker's chest out of the cargo hold. For once, not sassing at me.
It's like still torch in hand. It's like
Still slowly going.
it's like this drifting slowly out of the room.
So we're gonna do the holding down 2, pull the pins.
Yeah.
Hold down the other 2, pull the pins.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do the quick thing from Shaun of the Dead where it's like, I need to make sure that they're either dead or out of their minds.
Sure.
So we're gonna look at a nearby crate or something and just tap it real hard with the boot of the EVA suit as just ready to let him go.
No response.
Let him go.
These
With some
grenades
force?
float out.
With measured force.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, it's going to take like 5 seconds for these to go off when the pins pop. So a slow throw, so they'll hopefully be in that area.
Can we discuss the fact that they're kneeling on the floor somehow and 0 grab?
No, we won't discuss that.
Okay. Says a person who failed.
We are
their
sending them
funeral.
to a better place.
And then you'll just feel me like on your back pulling you
Yeah,
out.
just wait. It's as soon as it's let go, it is like, all right, we're getting out of the way.
Push off. And we need to like close the door back up.
You just get in the hallway. Just
Yeah,
get out of
get the
blast
fuck out of the way.
range. Yeah.
So, you let the grenades fly as they're floating towards the statue.
All 4 of them, which I may be regretting later.
All 4. And then
Oh,
you
boy.
are
got 2
rapidly
left.
soaring back towards the hallway.
We're going down the hallway.
Yep, towards that airlock.
Are you going to close the airlock to the cargo hold?
I suggested it.
I don't know if we want to.
It's up to you.
It might take a minute.
Okay, then let's just go.
Grenades usually don't
We're
give you a
just-
minute.
We're just gonna keep
You're
going.
the worst grenade of all time.
So you are rapidly floating down the hallway back towards where the airlock, the dorsal airlock that you came in from.
Floated away.
And then you
Mental
hear this.
timer. Find something to hold on to.
Yep.
You hear this rapid decompression, and you begin being sucked back along the hallway towards the cargo hold as you realize that the whole ship is rapidly decompressing.
Decompression.
I need everybody to make strength checks for me.
Oh, we'd have to be straight.
You've got mag boots, right?
I do have mag boots.
As much as I want.
You can disengage him if you want. I mean, engage him if you want. You can also disengage.
I engage and I
Choice
just
is
give
yours.
and I give a salute. Actually, I'll grab. Lynx.
Can I use athletics? Can I use athletics with this or not?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I passed.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
need that
you-
grab.
Sorry.
So you, with your android strength, essentially clamp around this thing and hold on.
Is it possible? So engage him real quick. Clamp to the floor or a wall or something, and try to grab.
Yeah, I
You have to do a
assume-
separate strength save. Strength check.
That's fine.
Yes.
All right. So,
But because you have the mag boots on, you can do so with advantage because you're not like floating around.
Because I failed that strength check.
Oh, so
So-
you see Lynx like begin to be rapidly sucked back towards the cargo.
Can I make a strength check to catch her too?
No.
No.
strength.
A 30 out of your 31 and a 55. Good thing you've got advantage.
Yeah. Even if my 50. Even if I had athletics added to it, unfortunately no. As I'm just like.
Well, you have advantage, not disadvantage.
Well, no, but like
Okay.
my 50 was my advantage. My 55 is the.
Oh, I thought it was a 30. My bad. Okay.
Got a 31 on the other roll, though, right?
No, I just got a 50 on the other roll, so
Ah,
it was a 5-0, and so I'm just like,
No.
You reach out and then you see,
well, my boots are like that. It's really restricted.
it's not allowing you to
Reflex, yeah.
lean over far enough, and then
That, like,
Lynx, you are rapidly
Camera slow mo. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And then just back to regular speed.
You see Lynx get essentially almost like
this is
ripped
gonna
through the
hurt.
hallway into the cargo hold and sucked out into deep space.
You still have the suit on at least, and you kept your oxygen on.
Yep. It'll take a moment.
My heart.
I might make it back. Maybe.
I think I want to stop on that
Yeah.
on
That's
that
a good
question.
note, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Hopefully we blew...
What about the rest of the
One-
cult? Or
one
whatever
important
they are?
question I
Still
have. No.
do we-
I don't even care about the people. The statue. Did the statue get sucked out?
Oh, so as you were rapidly decompressed, you wanted to kind
I
of
want to know.
you get a flash of what looks like the cultist, for lack of a better word, that were sort of kneeling with their heads against the statue. They were gone.
Okay.
It's clear that they got sucked out into decompression.
But the statue.
The statue's still there.
God damn it.
And you left me alone with him.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's cool. Maybe you can
I'll be
lay
back
it
next
back.
season.
Yeah, it's...
You can lay it back, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's suit's on. Helmet was sealed the whole time.
Yeah, because she decided she wanted to keep the oxygen on.
Shoot, he's smart.
What a
If
great
this was
use of
scripted,
force.
we would
Oh,
say
yeah.
that was foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah. It was not. That's one of those moments where it's like, if I didn't beforehand, I really should have before the grenades went out.
Yeah.
In fact, I probably should have recommended you to do the same, but...
Damn, mag boots, you MVP.
They're the
The
best.
shitty thing is there are mag boots in the cargo hold. I considered trying to stealth over there and get them first, but I
Yeah.
figured we'd get spotted and fucked up.
This keeps it interesting, though. I like
It was
narratively where
already
it's going.
interesting.
Oh, yeah, no. I like narrative where it's going.
I
It's
do-
going on that, like, horror movie trope of,
It
like,
is.
things have to go kind of bad.
Yeah.
People have to get separated. And then things will probably get a little bit worse before they
I
theoretically
will
get
admit,
better.
Theoretically.
I think Tracy did a very good job with this. I think
Yeah.
setting up like horror and tension is never easy in RPGs, especially when you have.
Especially with us.
Yeah, exactly. especially with
Our group as
Yes,
a
it
whole.
is.
Don't make it
Yes,
easy.
it is
Oh, yeah.
very
It's-
difficult.
Trust me, I know.
so
Every
it's-
Delta Green.
Yes,
Every
it's
Delta
yeah.
Green.
Well, I mean, you were here when we were playing La Mirazma, and I just looked at G and was like, are we playing the same game right now?
Yeah, whenever I had to do, it,
Yeah.
I've always said that I felt like I've always had to do some like, please,
Right.
group.
Yeah, it's
I
something.
don't want to harsh you mellow, but we just gotta
Right.
we just gotta try.
It's something you have to declare at the
Buy-in.
start of it, where it's like, all right, are we all okay with doing this like a serious horror setting?
Right.
That being said, you did a great job of throwing situations at us where it's like, oh yeah, we got those peaks, and then we're
Yeah.
immediately like, we need to buy that down with jokes. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
you did the best you could.
I think we deal with it in a very us manner.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't bother. It doesn't
But
bother
we
me
do
in
take
any
the
way.
theme seriously no matter what. We don't
Yeah.
make fun of the
No,
setting.
I felt like whenever things got
playing
real,
to it.
things got like
we
like,
buckled down. We're like, oh shit. Let's try not to die.
Yep.
that was cool. I liked that.
The things are clearly FUBAR. I'm not tapping anybody on the
I
shoulder.
think it's very difficult. I think I'm sure this is probably the aim of it. Granted, my dice were super hot tonight, but like I feel like the like getting like being proficient at something or like succeeding seems actually very difficult in this. So.
Yeah. That is by design. It's meant to be like,
If you have to roll for it,
yeah,
It's
the
not
risk
gonna
is
be
high. Yeah,
Right.
you need every
especially if
advantage
you're a
of
first level character and you haven't had the opportunity to like,
experience points.
get become improved.
But I'm not as savvy with sci-fi spaceship settings as
I thought
am
you
with
did
fantasy
awesome.
settings.
You did really well.
But other than that,
You played a good android. Good job.
well, just like not knowing what to do on the spaceship, I just had to be like, oh, what does my android node do?
That's-
I don't know shit right now. Reverse the polarity?
Right,
Like,
Yes,
I know.
that's
I think
the default
that,
answer.
I think
If you had said that, that would have worked.
I think that's a very fair way of going about sci-fi stuff. Being like, I interact with it.
How much? Yeah, like
What
how
can
much?
you-
How much
right?
techno
But
babble
it feels
do
like
you
such a
need? How much
cop
do you need to
out,
call?
you know what I mean? To be like,
See, you have to start. You have to start from that place because every sci-fi universe is different in terms of
Yeah.
like its
Like,
technical
Everything that I
integration
do
and
is
stuff.
Yeah.
all grabbed from Star Wars.
Right,
Or some
yeah.
people who do sci-fi stuff grab from like if they've watched a lot of Star Trek, like Star Trek Babel or
Yeah.
Doctor Who. Like
well, except in Doctor Who, you can't really pull from that so much because so much of it's like, oh right, I can do this one random thing you can only find on this planet and shove it in this space here and poof, it works.
Yeah, it's more plot-oriented
Yeah.
tech than rather like lore-oriented tech.
So I mean, I tried for a sonic
trying to think of
screwdriver.
the ones like what Babylon 5 or
Got
Yeah,
called, and,
oh,
got,
yeah.
and got called a
or
liar.
even
So
like Stargate.
Stargate tends to be a little bit better with that, just because it is a
Yeah.
lot more like human tech.
it was good though. It was fun.
No.
Yeah, I
I'd
think
like to do this
I
again.
like the feel. I like this module. Is that what you're borrowing kind of from, or is this something you made?
Yeah, it's a module from what it's supposed to go along with this system.
Yeah, I think it did.
Mhm.
I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
I think I like the.
I remember that graphic and not looking at it too much, but being like, "Oh, that's a nice layout.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice layout."
Now you got into it.
The one door we managed to open
I'm glad it was
had
that
to
one.
be that one.
I'm glad it was.
Good job opening the cargo hold.
Yeah. And with the power of teamwork, as is perfect for any horror situation, where it's like, no, you're not supposed to go off alone. You're supposed to experience this together.
We wrote like a great dark comedy horror movie, like TV episode tonight, guys. It was good.
Yeah.
Can
Had
we
a good
get, like the
mood?
Flight of the Concorde guys on board for this?
Had a good mood. Had like half naked man in it, like most of the time.
So it was clearly produced in either Australia or Europe.
Well, but you know what? You also had this 2 strong female leads who I'm sure will wear like tight-fitting clothing in all the right places, and have big guns. So it's appealing to both, right?
Floats your
good.
boat, whatever your boat may be.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, having the variety of, like, especially this group, I think it's very good to have someone who's like on point and someone who is like serious and then someone who's off point.
Right. Far off point.
But not to the point where we're just like, would you please stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I try.
Shut up.
To the point where we jokingly want to shoot you out an airlock, we're
But not
actually
really.
planning to shoot you out the airlock.
Whenever I play like jokester characters, I try to do my best to make sure that it's done hopefully tastefully.
Well, and
Enjoyable in some way.
You
shape, or
don't
form.
derail what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Oh no, that's
You know
the
what I mean?
worst.
That's when people hate it. Is when you're just fucking shit up because you
Yeah.
think it's funny.
Yeah, it's no.
And
you
you
know.
like the spot.
You have to. I mean, there's no reason to do that. You can have a lot of fun while still like interacting.
Coloring within the lines.
It makes it more of your humor as a coping mechanism for all the terrible shit going on right now.
Yeah, like the spoon with the
Yeah,
creature, right? Like I'm still interacting with whatever's happening in
It's
this.
one of
moment.
those where I'm going back to like source materials, going to Alien, and I'm like, why are you touching the thing that will
Yeah.
latch onto your face?
Yeah, right. And then I
turn
put
you
on
into the monster.
and then I put on a hazmat suit and just fucking touched it.
I do like to.
like
it's one of those. I know
it's part of the,
DM
genre, though.
The DM always wants you to like, hey, touch it.
Did you want us to touch it?
I didn't want you to just touch it.
Yeah,
When I DM, I always want
Well,
the person to
I mean,
touch
like, I don't care.
yeah.
I'll adjudicate it either way.
it. Oh,
Like,
sure.
if I were with you with the knowledge that I had, I would tell you. Don't touch it.
Maybe don't do the thing.
That's why I put on the hazmat suit and I was like, well,
But
if
that's not my
anyone's
job.
gonna touch it,
My job is to tell you
I'd
what
be
happened.
the android without
Sure.
the organic material.
I would be very worried if you came to us wounded by this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have reacted, though.
I would have pulled up my med scanner and gone, okay, we need to put him down old Yeller style.
Jump to that immediately.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hey now.
It's a possibility.
I'd be like,
A part of it, I
Do
was
the
kind
scan
of going back in my
first.
head. I was like, maybe it'll be
No,
my
I would
friend.
scan you first.
Maybe if I act nicely to it, it'll be my friend. Maybe it just hates the scary robot lady.
I mean, I did try to talk to it,
I mean,
you know. so.
androids are about as comforting as angry raccoons. So
Indifferent
I think
raccoons,
more.
thank you.
yeah. I think they're on scale with like indifferent raccoons.
Will you keep my sheets with that stuff, please?
Sure.
Thanks. Are we going to do this again?
It's up to you guys.
I would
Yeah.
like to.
Yes, please.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely. I'd also like for us to finish 5 rings.
5 rings? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be nice.
That is just this group, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just these
yes.
people.
Um,
So we
So-
could easily try to do that in this time slot. I mean, whatever you want.
On days we're not feeling
Next
board
Thursday.
Yeah,
gamey.
I don't want to derail the Arkham point.
I mean, we could potentially like shift
Well,
back and forth between
we
the
could
two.
go back and
then.
forth.
yeah, I'm totally down. I just like hanging out with you guys. So whatever you.
Hey, it's a win in both.
I like having friends. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, friends are alright. 9 out of 10.
Would friend again?
Good friend again.
But also I know like sometimes you guys are free some Friday. I know because we got together a couple Fridays to do 5 rings, so I'm cool with doing that every once in a while again.
Nice. Hold on. So next Thursday.
Fridays is normally like sometimes I'm just at home like doing my own thing.
So actual.
got a video game.
Fridays
Nowadays,
how
I mean,
it's-
we're
Fridays-
doing Love
last
Mirage.
one, yeah.
I've been playing.
that's
I've been
okay.
playing some
Next.
BDM Bloodlines. So
Ooh, yeah.
dude, I
What are you
was
playing?
um
And also, are you playing with any like mod rejiggering?
I did the content, like the
community content mod.
yeah. That was like
That's
it's
a
going to
good-
make your life better
So it's like
in
playable?
every.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
even in that, like there were a couple glitches. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine what this was like before.
It's a bit of a broken.
So it's not a Bethesda game.
Yeah, but I was thinking about getting it. I was like, man, I've been playing now that I've been playing some 5th